What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here.
Rick Zach Ginn here.
And in today's video, we're going to break down exactly how to get started in wholesaling real estate. We're going to give you our get started guide for wholesaling real estate. Really to break down as a beginner, like what you should be doing. We're going to give you our blueprint for success. And really, if you haven't gotten your first deal or if you're struggling consistently getting deals, I think it's going to be a really good video for you. There's a lot to learn on here. There's a lot to break down. So we're really excited for it and we're ready to help the people out. So we're excited. We're jacked up. We're ready to go. We're wearing our green today. So I'm ready to go. So guys, if you are ready and excited to learn wholesaling real estate, hear exactly what it is, do us a big favor and smash that like button and subscribe with the most you value from us. And let's break it down. I mean, as a beginner in wholesaling real estate, I think a lot of people struggle of analysis paralysis, what to do, everything like that. And today we're going to break it down, right?
Yeah. So sometimes we just overthink this, and I don't know how you guys operate, but this is not like school where you're going to wait 4, 6, 8 years and study it. You'll actually learn more by doing a hands-on approach. So people ask me all the time, hey, Rick, how long should I study wholesaling before I get started? I'm here to tell you, start right away, because the most challenging part is talking to enough people to get a deal. And if you wait 6 months or a year and try to study all the materials, you're 6 months to a year behind the curve. So here's the secret you guys need to know. You don't need to know everything about wholesaling. Like, honestly, I still don't know everything about wholesaling. There's not a day or a week that goes by that I might hit something after 20 years that I don't completely understand. So if I waited 20 years to understand everything, I would have been way behind the 8 ball. So don't wait to start. Just get out and start.
Boom. I mean, I kind of said that better myself. So let's break it down. Let's get the intro going. Let's get it going, guys. If you're ready to learn it, let's break it down. Woo!
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, again, they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up, bitch. Get up.
Yeah. Woo! I love that. I don't know every single time that gets me, like every single time, but
I do enjoy it.
I love it. So guys, if you're brand new to wholesaling real estate, this is the video for you. This is really where we're going to break down the exact tips and strategies. Honestly, if you're getting started in this business, like some people, they're really pessimistic about it, but this is the time to get started. I truly believe, when's the best time to plant a tree? Like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, when's the next second best time? Now, right? So a lot of people beat themselves up that wholesaling is this crazy thing. And, I wish I started 10 years ago. Guys, start now. A lot of people think wholesaling is this crazy, like radical new side hustle. Guys, we have a book here. A lot of people have been reading it from George Bockle. It's a book from the 40s, talking about from the 40s about real estate investing, sub-2 strategies, everything like that. So if you're new into wholesaling, like this is the video for you. You might be asking yourself, who are these two crazy cats sitting behind here talking, screaming, putting crazy videos up, talking about real estate wholesaling? Really quick, I'm Zach Ginn.
I'm Dad, aka Rick Ginn.
And we're basically a father-son team. Really quick, I mean, we just run a 7-figure wholesaling operation. He started wholesaling 20 years ago. I started 5 years ago. And we do a lot of wholesaling deals, and we love teaching it all. So we make our money from wholesaling real estate. So we just try to connect with people and try to give as much info as we can out to the people for free. And that's what we do. So that's who we are. That's what we want to do. And that's what we trying to share to the people. So guys, that's what we are. This is what we're trying to get out of today, is helping you out. There's no sales pitch at the end of this. We got nothing to sell you. We just want to help. So now you know who we are. Let's kind of break it down. So if you're new into wholesaling real estate, again, we always got to bring this up, but it's like, what is wholesaling real estate? And it's funny to think over the years, like the quick synopsis of what wholesaling real estate is. But really, at the end of the day, you're in the business of just finding people that want to sell their house, and then you negotiate a price, and then you find someone who wants to buy the house for a higher price, and then you make the difference. At the end of the day, that's what it is. It's kind of like garage sale flipping to a point where, like, I find this like antique, old Miami Dolphins mug, and I buy it for $2, and on eBay I sell it for 10. The only difference between that and what we do in real estate is we just add a couple of zeros to the end of that, right?
A lot of zeros.
So like, that's honestly what it is. We find someone who wants to sell the property. Who are people that want to sell the property for discounts? It's crazy to think in real estate, no one ever sells their house for a discount, right? You might think no one sells a car for a discount. People do.
They do it all the time.
It's distress situations, right? Someone's going through an issue with their personal life, financially. They just want to get rid of the property cash. Think of like disgusting old, like termite houses, the roofs leaking, stuff like that. We're not doing this on like crazy big mansions. I think a lot of people think that. And that's what that is generally what wholesaling real estate is. So we're in the business of selling contracts. We make a contract with someone who wants to sell their house, and we sell that contract to a rich landlord or a house flipper. And that's what we do, right? Like,
yeah. And then, so if you're going to wholesale something, you might as well pick something with at least the biggest price tag or the most to make money. So flipping comic books or like a piece of real estate, that's why wholesaling works so well in the real estate industry. Because you only got to sell like one house to make a tremendous difference to like your bank account and your family. And that's why we really love wholesaling specifically for real estate, because I don't have to go around and chase around like garage sales. That's a whole different lead source that we talk about. But
yeah, I'm just saying we can talk about that later, but like, it's insane. Like wholesaling's changed my life. And this kind of just brings back to, why wholesaling is the best. So remember, guys, I'll give this quick disclaimer out for everyone just wondering, right? Wholesaling real estate, you're selling the contract. You're not selling the house.
Correct.
I have to say this again.
It makes you a real estate agent if you do otherwise. So we teach you the right way to do it. So follow us at freewholesaling.com. We'll show you how to get it done. But guys, wholesaling houses is like taking a little trinkets at a garage sale with just a lot more zeros and making $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 paychecks. That's the only difference. Period.
Yeah, so why is wholesaling the best? I'll just say out loud, like it sounds like a scam every time I say it, but I mean, I've done it so many times where it's like, well, I guess not a scam, and we haven't been arrested for wholesaling. So it's like, I guess it's legal, right? But the truth is, the quickest way to make $10,000 cash legally is just wholesaling. Like, why wholesaling sexy? Why it draws so many people in, and why so many people quit is all because of one thing. It's like, you can make 10 grand really fast in wholesaling. My first deal within a month, $20,000, right? Like, you can make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 as a 17-year-old kid within this business. It doesn't discriminate. If you can find a good deal, you find a good deal, right? And the problem with that is it attracts the wrong crowd sometimes of people who get in this business.
You think so?
It does. You got, it's a wrong crowd. It attracts a lot of, coaches, people trying to sell you stuff on it. And the truth is, it's a blessing and curse that wholesaling gives you that opportunity as like any age, gender, like nationality. You can be in the Barbados. I've had people from Trinidad and Tobago making $50K on a probate deal. Like, I'm telling you, like, it's such a blessing, but it could be a curse also, where you could be in it for the wrong reasons and then you quit really fast because you don't have a passion for the business. And you don't know if you have a passion for the business till you do it, unfortunately. So it's like, just try it, right? But there's a lot of bad apples in this industry because it's so lucrative. You're gonna have a bad apple there. It's like you see a bad person in any industry. That's how the business works, right? Like, you got bad lawyers, you got good lawyers, right? So unfortunately, understand there's going to be there's some bad apples in this industry because of how much money you can make in this business. And you just got to understand that.
And one thing 20 years has told me is The people in it just for quick cash are always the fastest out. So
Always. Every time.
don't sit there and try to compete with these people. You just have to outperform them.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. So that goes with anybody who teaches the business. If they don't have a long-term approach, I'm just telling you guys, think of a marathon versus a sprint. Sprinters always run
Well, that's
out of gas and they
entrepreneurship.
quit.
You know, that's like, even if one business fails, you got the next one. Like it's not a failure unless you decide it's a failure. Like you can learn from your mistakes. And here's the one thing. This is why we're taking our time kind of doing the intro on this, because I hate to say it, I frankly don't care if we don't gain any more subscribers anymore. Here's the truth. If you're joining this with a sole intention of not like working hard in this business, I don't want you following our stuff. The info we give,
Yeah.
if you do not work hard, it will not work.
Yeah.
Wholesaling is hard work. So I say that in the nicest way. You know, we can give you the honey versus vinegar approach, where it's like, we could take your money, we can pat you on the back, make you feel like a good macho person, make you feel good about yourself, and you're getting nowhere in your business. But you gave us money, so we have to make you feel good because you're a client of ours. Here's the benefit of why we do it for free.
Yeah.
I can tell you the truth to your face. You know, like all people on here, they give me excuses. I'm like, quit your excuses. Did you do this, this, and this? And they say, no. I'm like, go do it. Never talk to me again until you get back and do it. Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the truth. My methods might not be the best. Nice wise. Generally, I have empathy in my heart of helping the people out. But the truth is, if what I say, the things we're about to say, if you are not willing to work hard for this, if you think this is something you do 2 hours on a Saturday and then make 10K, just click out the video. Like I'm being completely honest. Like my life's too short. I make enough money in wholesaling where I don't have to deal with people that legit don't want to work hard. I cannot teach you unless you want to work hard. So I'm giving you this disclaimer really quick. Get out of here if you're not willing to do the work. And I'm not telling you, you have to work 100 hours a week. Honestly, it's 10 to 20. Like if you really want to get in part-time, if you can't dedicate 10 to 20 hours, and if you tell me you don't have more than 10 to 20 hours, I can go over anyone's schedule and I can break it down.
Yeah.
I have empathy. You got two full-time jobs, kids, a roof over your head. You got to feed kids. Fine. But like, if you're a single person, you're not married, don't have kids, and you work a full-time job, there's plenty of time still. So that being said, if you're willing to work hard, we will give you the entire game right now. Like in this video, we're about to give it out. So if you're willing to do that, fine. Let's break it down. So from the top, the wholesaling real estate process. I cannot say this any more simpler. The way I look at wholesaling, I look at this is the difference between you and me. I kind of think in our business is like in our business together. It's like, I'm very analytical in the way I see things.
Mm-hmm.
I can also be a visionary to a point. That's kind of more your role. But like, I can be a visionary too, but like, I'm very, very analytical when it comes to things. And the way I look at wholesaling is it's very elementary. It's just a left to right conveyor belt. The way my mind works, that's what it is. What's the start of the conveyor belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Finding people who want to sell the property, right? Step 2, putting that property under contract. Step 3, finding a buyer who wants to pay more for it, selling that contract to that buyer, make a profit. Like, that's the wholesaling real estate process. Like, is there any other simple explanation you have for it? Like, at the end of the day, that's what it is.
No. And if you guys are just starting out wholesaling, you've got to find a way to feed that feeder in the beginning. And that's the biggest challenge. Stop spending so much time on accounting, logos design, all that other stuff. You have to feed the machine. So if you can't put items on the conveyor belt, it's never going to get to the steps he was talking about on there.
And it's a machine.
We're going to go over it. Yeah, it's
got
got to be a machine. You got to keep loading it.
You know how the machine doesn't run on gas, it doesn't run on electricity. It runs off of one thing, leads.
Yeah.
Like, that's what right?
Yeah. So look at it. If you guys ever look at like gold mining, they have a conveyor belt and the truck so the truck's going to dump the dirt, which is your leads. Then it goes through a shaker, which is basically how we vet the leads. We talk to them. And then from there, we get a contract, and then it goes to the backside of the team for dispositions. The problem is, if you look at it like from a gold miner standpoint, if you're dumping the dirt and then you stop dumping the dirt and you're shaking it and dispoing it, that belt runs dry in the front. And the biggest number one problem all wholesalers have in the beginning, because listen, let's face it, we're all doing it by ourselves in the beginning. I did it for 7 years. There's no problem with it. It'll make you the master of wholesaling. You got to find a way to keep steadily dumping dirt on that belt.
But here's the thing, I've watched, I haven't watched the mining shows. You've just had them on when I have them, and then I watched them.
Yeah.
Because you watch a lot more than that than like me, especially like growing up. The cool part about it's a great analogy, because that machine, you can get a good amount done if you do that entire process yourself. But the real money's when you have like employees in there and like you can really scale it up. You know, some smart entrepreneur type people have like 5 operations going, right? So that's one thing you got to look at. Kind of like virtual wholesaling. It's like, if you're in the wrong like land, you're trying to mine gold, like you're in the Everglades.
Yeah.
There ain't gonna be gold in there. Okay. There's going to be crocs and alligators. Now and that's the difference. Like I could show you, like I did a video this week, the top 10 hottest and coldest real estate wholesaling markets. I'm telling you where the gold is. The truth is you just got to run the machine. And obviously it's everyone asks me this, everybody in wholesaling. Zach, how can I make $100,000 per year in wholesaling with working 2 hours a week? Right. I'm like, okay. Like same thing with gold mining, right? How can I work 2 hours a week in gold mining and make $100,000? Here's the truth. Either you're going to hire employees to do it for you, or you live in a pipe dream.
Yeah.
And that's you want to work 2 hours a week. Either you have to have somebody doing the work or not. Like the machine won't run with nobody and you're not working. Like there ain't magic here, right?
Yeah. Guys, there's a show on TV. I'm not going to name the name. They talk about, mining gold. And it's really interesting is we just want you to get the belt running, get to the mechanics. Then you're going to have to go through a process on, like they do like the little 5% adjustments to find the gold, like the angle of the sluice to catch the gold versus all the dirt, which are all the people who want retail for it.
Oh, we go the fishing analogy. There's so many analogies.
But here's the really cool part is I watch these guys and they're like, we got 5 ounces of gold, which was like $10,000 or $12,000. And they got $7 million cash in their operation and 10 employees. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I look at like a wholesale deal. It's like just a $10,000 deal is like 3 or 4 ounces of gold. I don't even know what the price of gold is anymore, but I'm just with none of that overhead. That's why I'm just telling you, if you analyze wholesaling real estate compared to like a gold mining operation, we're doing the same thing. We're using different allocations for doing it. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to invest $10 million to make a $50,000 profit. No. We can show you how to make that profit with none of that upfront cost other than some simple marketing.
So the process is, again, we find somebody who wants to sell the property, usually from a distress. Here's another truth here, guys. If you want to learn wholesaling, like you're not going to become a complete master in like 2 hours. That's not true.
Says I can.
It's it's like Doctor Strange to a point for everyone that watches that movie. It's like, how do you become like really good at like the crazy stuff they do? You can't. You don't watch a video for 2 hours and you got to do it. Like, how do you become really good at martial arts, boxing? Like, do you think I can watch a video? Here's the thing. It's like boxing. I think that's a really good example. It's like, okay, I want to learn to be good at boxing. Can I watch a 2-hour video on Conor McGregor and then learn how to be really good at boxing? No, right? But if I spend maybe an hour a day on it, like just, being methodical on it, and you actually practice it, you're good. Like there's a huge difference with cold calling. And we're going to get into cold calling, of reading about cold calling, looking at cold calling, watching videos on cold calling, watching the best at cold calling, and then you actually doing it, right? Yeah. It's like you getting in the ring versus you watching it from the sidelines. Huge difference. And things start clicking and you start seeing things differently. And that's kind of what we like. Every which way we say it, it's going to be, you gotta participate. You got to get in the ring. And you got
to get a lot of repetition. There's no way around it. It's funny because everybody, like you give someone a pair of boxing gloves, especially guys are like, oh yeah, that looks like fun boxing. It's brutal. If somebody knows how to box, they'll literally destroy you. Same goes for wrestling, any type of like fighting skill. You don't know what you don't know till you actually try it. So everybody wants to talk about wholesaling. Talk to your trim blue. The best way me and Zach can teach are the ones that are actually taking actions and are actually having failures going in. If you think you're going to go on wholesaling and it'll be smooth sailing, you're never, ever going to have a problem. dude, shut the video off right now. This is not for you. So many of you have been predisposed to like these 30-second infomercials on wholesaling, how simple it is through TikTok and stuff. I'm here to tell you, it can do exactly what they say, but they don't show you all the behind the scenes to get it done. I'm telling you, I was lucky when I started wholesaling. I did make fast cash, but I had slow times after that. And honestly, I'd rather have slow times than fast cash. I think you'll do better. But if you stick it out, you will beat all those people that are trying to be the next TikTok wholesalers because they don't have the patience for it.
That's it. Guys, this is a long game. Like you're at the infancy of this. It's like judging yourself. It's like Michael Jordan. It's like judging Michael Jordan from high school when he got cut from the basketball team and didn't make it. Like, oh, that kid stinks. You know what? Cut, like, that's it. Close the curtains, quit, right?
But think about when he got cut, that was probably one of his big motivating factors.
Yes, too. But he got better and better and better. Why people that's like way better than them, like that looks way better.
Yeah,
he just surpassed them because he constantly got better. Like he never stopped. But you got to look at it, guys. Don't look at what I do or what you like, what we make.
We don't need you to be us. I always tell people,
be yourself.
Like you need to aspire to use your God-given ability, whatever gifts given to you. If you're really empathetic to people, you know how to connect with people, you're funny, like whatever it is. Maybe you're an expert on something, dude, share it, like be it. Like I see so many aspiring wholesalers trying to like mimic and replicate people who taught them the business. And honestly, the best way to honor them is just go out and do deals. Like, honestly, that's the best thing you can do. Don't be me. I'm unique in what I do. I'm like extremely different. So is he. And that's what makes us like really unique as wholesalers. The minute we're all robots and we do we wear the exact same hat and jacket and shoes and shirt, we're never going to be able to tell the difference apart from anybody. So guys, go out and be you, whatever it is, and just be unique.
I agree. So let's get in the fundamentals here. So if you're new into wholesaling, you want to get started, this is the number one question I always get in our group too. It's like, what's the shortcut to wholesaling success? How can I it's kind of like we said before, it's like the boxing thing. How can you get like really good with that? Here's the truth. You ready?
You got to get punched.
Let's just say that. No, how to get good at boxing? Start hitting a boxing bag. And what's the boxing bag, in my opinion, for wholesaling real estate? Now, the truth is, like, you became really good at wholesaling without cold calling, but you had some very interesting marketing strategies, and it was the early 2000s. So it's a tad different.
I had limitations. I had a full-time job.
True.
I had kids to take care of. I had a mortgage, and I was going in uncharted waters with no like real history on it. So it was a risk, but here's how I always look at it. People are like, oh, Rick, it's so risky. It's risky. Hey, listen, you can go back to your old life anytime you want. And if you've already admitted it's painful and it's not fulfilling you for who you are, then why not change? Like God didn't put you on the thirst to like be miserable. So if wholesaling, if it's bringing you in, it's attracting you to this channel, then listen to us. I got 20 years. You're 5 years in. People say it's not sustainable with the ones who are going to quit. They want fast cash. It doesn't work. So
I'm ready to show it. So the boxing bag is, I didn't get my first deal with the strategy, but I would say for most people, it's going to be cold calling. Like cold calling a list is going to be your boxing bag. Unfortunately, if you have no money, you can't really do the strategies I did starting out, or the way you kind of did starting out. I spent all my money on bandit signs, and that was fun. You kind of like, you sorted it in a different way too, but like, if you want to get started in this business, Port St. Lucie was not as saturated 20 years ago as it was today.
Yeah.
Even when I did it, it's way more saturated than that. You got guys like Brandon, out here in Fort Pierce, who watch our channel. He's making like a good amount of money. Like there's people that still make it in like really saturated markets. But like the thing is, cold calling a list is going to be the greatest thing you can do starting out if you got no money as a beginner. Why is this? Because you are actively marketing, finding sellers, and you're actively gaining your skills of cold calling. This is literally being in the ring. You're out there, you're doing it, right? I'm telling you, right, cold calling is even the best. Like I cannot say this enough.
Yeah.
The biggest growth I've ever had in my entire life in wholesaling real estate was when I started cold calling 5 hours a day for a year straight. That was my Jordan moment, to a point where I went from good to great. I didn't say good to elite. I went from good to great. And in my opinion, that's the hardest thing to do. Great to elite, that's just putting your hours in, right? But going from I'm good at wholesaling, I'm kind of, to I know what the stinking what I got to do, and I can close a deal in the back of my hand. That's what happens, right? Now, getting elite, that's a little more different. That's just closing huge deals after huge deals after. But being great's kind of the moment after cold calling like that for a year straight. I never had to worry about money the rest of my life, to a point of, if you took all the money away from me, I have the skill set really in any industry to make money, because I knew how to talk to people. I knew how to close deals. And that was really satisfying. And then you get elite, you're at the point where you don't have to worry about money ever again. But cold calling did that for me. And it's the fastest way. I truly believe that 1 year I did was equal to 5 years of a regular wholesaler. Yeah. Just because I ate, lived, breathed, wholesaling, cold calling. 5 hours a day changes somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you to go do that, but I can only give you my experience.
I mean, if I started out cold calling, I would have owned the market.
If you cold call 5 hours a day for a year straight, it just,
we're talking 20 years ago when it wasn't nearly
that's
as prolific.
The thing.
And I'm just
but
showing
I
you,
had a triple line dialer, which you didn't have. So
no, but it's even a single line dialer back then. I'm just saying I was just a little bit more closed-minded because I felt like I was taking a massive risk in what I did, and I did what worked for me. And as Zach's saying is, people, every wholesaler, I don't care, any type of investor, everyone wants to see this super sexy rise to fame. I'm just telling you, they just muster through deals and they get better and better with it over time. And it's a gradual progression to the point where is once you get out of the rat race and so I never set an alarm clock. Remember, I do wholesaling for freedom. I don't set an alarm clock. I do what I want.
What time did you get up today?
Well, I got up at 6 this
You
morning.
got up at 6 because you went fishing.
Yeah.
But you set the alarm clock for that.
But I'm just telling you, then money becomes it becomes a game. It's almost like playing Monopoly every day. Hey, what house do we flip today? What do we have under contract? What are we doing? And it's a lot of fun. But I will tell you in the beginning, it took a lot more time.
I'm telling you. So the next part's what kind of list are we going to be pulling, right? And this is the government list. And I can tell you is so cold calling is the answer, right? Starting out as a beginner.
Absolutely, 100%.
So the question is what kind of list do we pull? And the way is, if I could change, if I could go back in time and change it, you went back and you'd probably cold call, you do all these different things, right? You probably do bandit signs.
I do a lot if I could go back in time.
But here's the thing, we all would do something different. If I go back in time when I was 10, I'd change a lot more, right? But if I can only tell you my mistakes and my successes, and you can model after it, so you have a better path. It's like those people that did the Trailblazers when they're going out west down pioneer times. They did a lot of the struggles, so you could just they blaze the trail. Then you got a trail right there. That's all we can do. We can try to hopefully blaze a trail for you to make it easier for that path. And that's what we're So if I had to change it, I would probably not do 5 hours a day. That was ridiculous. That was intense. Most people burn out.
Yeah,
I had too big of a chip on my shoulder. Here's the thing. You could work, and this is kind of what we're doing. You're doing a big video on this tomorrow about niche lists, but it's if you could do a list where cold calling 1 hour is equal to about 5 hours of actual other type of cold calling, it's great. What I did, you could probably do if you do the right if you did government lists 1 hour a day, you would probably get the same results as me doing 5 hours a day. And this is kind of using a car versus a bike, right? If you did that in a day, 5 hours on a bike might be 2 hours driving, right? Just you're more efficient. This is why we don't grow our own food, right? We got farmers, we got systems, things like that. And so I don't want you to work 5 hours a day cold calling. Most people will quit after it. It's insane, right? It's like David Goggins stuff, right? We ain't working out 6 hours a day, right? That's just not common. Government lists, these are lists that really, really niched out where no one's really pulling them in a lot of markets, and you're gonna have a lot more success with it. I never complains. Oh, my market's saturated. My market's not working. Are you pulling these lists? Most of the time, they're not.
Yeah.
And if you're brand new, I can get this in your head before you get kind of a lazy brain of thinking, oh, that list is too hard. If you're starting out and that's all you know, you're going to have a lot more success. So that's why I'm talking to the new people out here. Be like, before you pull a list, pull these lists. Because once you learn how to pull that, it gets second nature and you don't quit it,
So
right?
if you guys need help with the list, go to freewholesaling.com.
It's all there.
It's all free. And so here's the requirement.
We blaze the trail.
Pull the list, spend your hours research, skip trace if you're going to cold call it, and then call. Do not start making analogies after 50 phone calls. Honestly, I don't care if you get one deal or 1,000 deals. You have got to get through that brick wall. So a lot of times, like, so, hey, how many phone calls before I get a deal? Stop that. How many phone calls are you willing to make? And honestly, don't pat your, like, I'm all about taking action. You made 50 phone calls. That's great. So show me what your weekly, your monthly, and your yearly goals are, and I'll tell you where you're headed to. You have to do it. So many people make 3 phone calls and they go, oh my God, that was the most nerve-wracking thing. The hardest part is calls 1, 2, and 3. The other 100 are a piece of cake.
Not a piece of cake,
but you got to do it. Like, so it's like human nature. Oh, this is tough. It's challenging. Get through it. Your mindset's got to be, I'm going to get through the first 100,000 calls before I have one negative thing to say about it, because cold calling by itself is a volume quantity game. You need to connect with many people as possible, understanding 98% are going to say no.
That's the truth. And here's the thing. It's like, oh, I don't want to cold call right now. Here's the thing.
I was never in the mood to do
I would
it.
say that. That's fine. We're just going to have to wait till your situation's so dire where you have to cold call.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to cold call right now. I'm like, okay, well, let's keep working at that job for minimum wage until you're at the financial point where you can't do it anymore. And then you have to start cold calling, right? Like, is that going to be your motivator? Why don't you just not deal with that mental stress and just start cold calling now, right? So
guys, find your why you're going to do this. Why would I call 10,000 people, Zach or Rick? Because you want to change your life. You want to change the trajectory of it. And you like what we're saying is real. I've been doing this 20 years, guys. It's for real. I am not a fast cash guy. I can make fast cash. He's been doing it for 5 years. I taught him at 16, 17. And that's the whole premise behind this channel. It's really that's simple.
It. So we're going to ask, what are government lists? And before I tell you the government list, I'm just giving you a disclaimer right here at freewholesaling.com. I literally did a video for each one of these government lists. Unlike a video, I showed you how to pull every single one of these lists. Every single one online for free. I literally did that. So before I get all these questions, because we get this question, Zach, how do you pull that list for government? Oh, that's too confusing. I'm just not going to do that. I'm just going to skip that one. No, like, come on. Like, so
we've done the hard work for you.
I show you online.
You just got to do the mechanics.
So what's the list? This is your water shutoff list, your code violations, your probates, your IRS/credit card debt lien list, your lien lists. There's a lot more. Go right here to freewholesaling.com. Literally break it down. It's not a 2-hour video. It's like a 15-minute videos. Like I make them very condensed and easy, right? Because we go live so we can talk to people and all that stuff. But like what I'm telling you is freewholesaling.com. I share like everything we say is done really quick, simple, and efficient. And it's how you can learn it. And I don't know what else to say. Like, if there's no excuse, like I showed you exactly how to pull every single one of these lists right there. So it's freewholesaling.com. Those are the lists you need to be calling. How do you find the phone number? Either if you got no money, go to truepeoplesearch.com. It's free skip tracing. No, it's not the craziest quality, but it will do, right? Mm-hmm. Like it will do. Or if you want to pay for it, you get really accurate skip tracing. Just go to like zachdata.com. Like that's what we use.
Guys, this is what we literally do. Like, I'm just 20 years. I'm giving you the play-by-play, exactly what we do. Everybody else is going to charge you for this information. I'm just telling you, you have to take the action steps to get through it. Do you want me to give you complicated action steps? Pull your government list, skip trace them, call them. It's really not complicated. I can make this as complicated as you want. This is why people sell huge courses to you, to make it very, very convoluted. Like there's a million steps.
I'm telling you, there's a million ways that you could find. Like I'm literally just telling you, if you're brand new, do this. Like this is binary. This is 1 or 0. This is the path. So cold call, government lists, find the number from either of these two. If you got money, use ZachData.com. It'll make it easier. But if you don't, hey, no big deal, right? Like use something else. Or like use like a ZachDollar.com if you want to use a dollar. But like honestly, depends on your budget starting out. If you got no money, you can still do it. Next, here's what's the cold calling script. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Most cold calling scripts that you get for free, you probably got a YouTube ad before this video. Someone telling you to do here's a free wholesaling script. Whatever wholesaling script it is, I don't know which one. There's like 7, 8 of them out there for like free on YouTube, right? Like you get ads for. First of all, if someone's giving you an ad for something free, that is very hypocritical. Like they're paying to give you something out for free. No one does that. People give out something out for free, but they're not going to pay money to give things out for free. This ain't UNICEF, right? Like, so just think about, like, remember that there is an end goal when people do that. They're trying to get money off of you. That's why we don't spend money on ads. If you see one of our videos and it's not an ad, you know we're legitimate trying to get.
Yeah, we're the only ones that do
ad
organically, I believe.
Yeah, if you see an ad from me trying to give you something for free, no,
That's
there's
not us.
no. I'm not spending like $500 a day. I'm gonna get an ROI on that, right? So it's like I'm not. If you see me with an ad giving something out for free, be very, very careful.
So if you guys get an ad, they're pulling you into a funnel. They have to get a return on their investment. And typically, this is going to sound terrible. I'm just going to say it. They're probably going to give you something that's not quite going to work. And guess what? I have the solution for it to work. Come over to, to XYZ. So just be careful on anything like free off of an ad copy, because it's
how much money do you think we'd lose if I gave the free wholesaling course out and I spent $500 a day on a YouTube ad? I would lose $500 a day. Yeah. Like I got no end goal in that. That's the problem. I can't take anyone's credit card info off of freewholesaling.com. So that's the thing, guys. So just remember that to a point. And so I'm just giving you what works. For most people, a complicated cold calling script, you're not going to sound natural. Mm-hmm. You're going to be stressed because you got to memorize this entire like essay. The truth is, like, you're not going to be as efficient. And that's the truth. It's I'm telling you. So what I can tell you is my cold calling script. I'm going to give it out right now. It is literally 2 sentences. 2 sentences. Why is it 2 sentences? Because it is fast, efficient, and easy. In wholesaling real estate, I can tell you this right now. For cold calling, probably 98% or 99, even 99% of people you're going to call are going to say no. And that's the truth.
And guys, a lot of the information you're getting out there from people who really don't wholesale anymore. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you what worked for me 5-10 years ago. I would never use in today's market, because we have to be transparent.
I know. So if we know that, 1 to 2% are going to say yes, why are you going to waste 98% of your time doing a 30-second, crazy spiel about what you offer if 98% are going to say no? So like, I give you a list of, I always say this example, but here's the truth. If I give you a list of 100 people and let's say 1,000 people. Okay. Mm-hmm. And this is a list of people that are allergic to peanut butter. Okay. Or they might be allergic to peanut butter.
Are we going to peanut butter?
Yes. No, I'm saying this because people have severe peanut allergies. So if I have a list there and I know 20 people in that list are actually part of like the peanut butter fan club, and they're millionaires and they'll pay anything for anything peanut butter product, and you'll make 10 grand if they say that. Okay.
You're making me hungry, dude.
I know. But if I say that though, I know that those 20 people are going to give me 10 grand. If I cold call a list of 1,000 though, how am I going to weed that out really quick? I only have like a week to do this. Am I going to go do a full like sales pitch on the peanut butter? No. Guess what I'm going to ask? Are you allergic to peanut butter? Yes or no? If they say yeah, if they say no, okay, that's one of the 20. Then I can spend my time with that person trying to sell it, right? Because 980 of those people are going to say no. So that's the same thing for wholesaling.
So you guys get that? Like 98% of 98, maybe 99% are going to reject you. The problem with wholesalers, we get in this automatic. Yep. I've sat there where you get on cruise control. You just assume everyone's going to reject you, and somebody out of the blue goes, yeah, I'm interested. And all of a sudden you're so automated, you forgot what to even ask them. So you want to parlay your qualifying questions to screen out that 98% first, so you do not waste all your time and energy trying to sell something that they're not interested in.
So we're going to make it really fast, efficient, and easy.
Let's go.
And from, I'm literally, this is for when I figured this out, because I did 5 hours a day, 5 days a week for a year straight. You go crazy.
Guys, he did it.
When you cold call that much and you're that crazy, you figure out really quick what to say, because you're calling so many people. You hate wasting your time.
Yeah.
The reason why I've spent so much time pre-telling you what this is, because when I tell you the script, you're going to think I'm crazy. But this is what most people do. So this is the script. Are you ready? Number 1, are you the owner of this address? If you're talking to somebody and they're not the owner, you're wasting your time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk to the owner, the person that actually is going to make the decision. And then if they say yes, that throws them off. Because if you just say, hey, are you interested in selling your house? But even if they are, they're going to say no, because it's a weird number, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you say they're the owner, they're going to be kind of like, oh, wait,
Well,
whoa. Who is this? How do they know where I live?
Yeah.
Now they're not going to be in like the automatic no telemarketer thing, right? Is this a cop? Is this my ex-lover from, middle school that like ran across the, like, it's like, who could this be? There's a lot of mystery, right? And that's why I tell everyone to leave very weird, like very, very general voicemails. It's like, who could this be, right? When you say that, are you the owner of? Oh my God, something happened. Versus, hello, this is Zach from Home Solutions. It's like, get off the phone, like I'm driving. I'm with my, so the next one is, are you the owner and are you interested? That's it.
That's it, guys.
That's it.
The thing is, you're so many people are trying to put down this paragraph sales script. And I'm telling you, if you know that 98% are going to kick you to the curb, then find a way to weed out that first 98%. Our 2 questions, it's straightforward. There's millions and millions of contacts been made. Trust me, it works. We're talking specifically for doing cold calling. But so many of you, if you're going through these long-winded scripts, you're just wasting time and energy.
So it's fast, efficient, and easy. So what if they say yes, right? You're going to qualify them. This is how you make sure if someone's actually a motivated seller, a good wholesaling deal or not. You basically ask them about motivation, condition, time frame, price. Motivation, why they want to sell the property. Condition, the condition of the property. How's the roof, AC, flooring, kitchen? Does it need to be updated? Time frame, are they looking to sell within a month, 2 months, a year? Price, how much they need to sell for their ballpark. Guys, freewholesaling.com. I have live calls where I call people live on the live streams, and then I go through this entire thing, the entire thing. So next step here is like, once you have someone, they're qualified, you just meet them at the house.
So guys, go back up to that one before it. Your qualification questions, all you have to do is memorize an acronym for us. So you guys are so dead set on scripts. This is where, if you can turn a script into a conversation. So if your script's those first 2 questions, I'm fine with it. Just memorize it. This one, motivation, condition, time frame, price, just do MCTP.
I would write that down.
However you want to do it. But here's what people will do. Sometimes, tell me why you're looking to sell the house. And then they'll jump into time frame. I'm like, okay, I got time frame done. And then you can just cross them off your list as you go through it. And that's how you have a conversation. I used to do the scripts when I first started. I get so thrown off when they jump down like 4 questions. I'm like, well, wait a minute, I got to start all over again. So 2 qualifying questions to weed out the 98%. And I'm sorry, the script. And then you go on your qualifying questions, just use the acronym for the 4 points and have a conversation with it. And that way you don't have to memorize the whole thing.
Yeah. So that's what we do. So the next part here is, I'm telling you right now, is to just meet them at the property, or you do it virtually, right? You're going to lock up the contract. You're going to get the best price possible when you meet them, right? Like the whole acquisitions thing's freewholesaling.com. And if you want the more training on that, how to get the contract, freewholesaling.com. Just click the link. If the file's in there, you download it. My assignment of contract, they're all in there. You're going to submit that contract to the title company. Hopefully you leave a $100 deposit. You don't have to leave a deposit, but a $100 deposit is going to be really good. And it'll help. And the next part's like, I have it under contract, right? The deal. How do I find a buyer, a cash buyer, right? The truth is, for most people, this is the fastest, most efficient way. Cold call the 4 rents. Cold call the cash sales, if like listrei.com. Go to Facebook groups. Find a landlord or a flipper for a cash buyer. You're going to do is, once they give you a proof of funds, showing they actually have funds in the bank account to actually buy the property cash, we are going to share the pics with them, the pictures of the house, to that buyer. and the buyer has to agree to the price before they even see the house. So, Mr. Buyer, are you okay for buying this house for $100,000 based on the pictures?
Sure.
If I bring you through, will you buy it for 100?
Yes.
I need your commitment. Here's the hey, when I hear someone say I brought a buyer through and I have to bring former buyers because that person didn't buy it.
Yeah.
95% of the time, they never ask the buyer if they're go with that price. A buyer will walk through a house even if they don't want to buy it just to go through it.
So
they will waste your time.
It's about underwriting the deal before they go there, because a lot of times most buyers will say something stupid or show you something that they're not even qualified to buy it. The worst thing you can do is get an unqualified buyer taking them buy a property you have under contract, and they're not even slightly qualified to buy it because you didn't take the time to do it. So once you qualify in proof of funds, they have the money, show them the pictures, show them your offer price, and see if they bite. If they don't bite, why would you take them the property? And then keep in mind too, is the only time they wouldn't bite if you've underwritten the deal beforehand is if what we call the carpets don't match the drapes. Meaning your pictures, he goes there is like, oh my God, Zach, I didn't see this in the pictures.
That's your fault, not the buyer's fault.
Correct. So you got to understand, you want to paint the worst possible picture up front, because sometimes we only get a shot or two to run these people through to buy the contracts. And you can't have tire kickers wasting your time. Those are meant for realtors, not for wholesalers.
I agree 100%. And so the next part here is, we're going to pop this up. So next part here, I mean, once you share the pictures, you just basically call the seller. You let them know that you're going to bring your partner through the house to look at it, right? Your cash buyer is your partner on the deal. Like, even look at the HUD, they're the partner on it. You're going to walk the buyer through. You're going to sign the contract to them, and you're going to have them sign an assignment of contract. It's a free paperwork that we got at freewholesaling.com. We break it exactly how to do it. And then we sell that contract to a profit. So if I locked it up for $100,000 with the seller and the buyer agrees to buy it for $120,000, that means 120 minus 100 is $20,000. That means the buyer is going to give $120,000 to the title company. Title company will give the $100,000 we agreed to give to the seller, $20,000 to an assignment fee for me. That's literally what it is.
And when you do the assignment, guys, there's no expenses that come out of your side. That's why it's so attractive and it works. And that's what most people start out wholesaling doing. And as you get into wholesaling, you open up so many more opportunities. So wholesaling is a fundamental skill you learn in real estate investment. And the sooner you learn it up front, the better properties you'll be able to buy over the long term, because you're buying deeply discounted properties. The only way you can do that is through wholesaling, which basically makes you a specialized niche marketer.
Agreed. And then basically submit that deal to a title company and have the buyer drop off their EMD, which would be $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. You're basically going to call and follow up with the seller weekly or bi-weekly, just saying, hey, make sure everything's good with you with the move and everything. Then boom, wait for the closing and get your check. I'm telling you right now, this wholesaling business works. It works really well. Guys, everyone else around the industry, they talk smack about, the ways we do it. It's fine. I'm only addressing this because I see this comment. I'm not putting this comment up because I'm not going to mention. Read the comment right here if you want. I'll highlight it for you to read. I'm not going to break it. Can you read that? Don't read it out loud, but you can read it, right? Or I can zoom it up. I'm letting you know, there's people out there on YouTube that are saying that cold calling is dead, and like the marketing strategies that for most wholesalers is dead. I'm telling you, our strategies are not dead. You have to just think about why people are telling you why the marketing strategy is dead. Are they telling you it's dead because they're trying to, but are they telling you the marketing strategy is dead and then they're trying to share you a solution, which possibly be a course? Or they're telling you it's dead because legitimately they want to help you out. Think about it like that to a point. Guys, these strategies still work. I mean, what was that $115,000 deal we did last month? Was that from a dead strategy? Technically.
Guys,
I'm just telling you,
we do deals every week. I'm going to tell you when it changes, and I'm here to tell you, you have to put in the work. You have to get your list. You have to cold call them, and you have to work through it. You got to shake the hopper, and you got to shake that gold out. I can't shake it out for you. Zach can't shake it out for you. I'm here to tell you it works. Anybody tells you, oh, you got to do this, we have a secret way. Those are code words, guys. Like, do you think somebody has a secret way more than me doing this 20 years?
No.
I could keep every secret to myself. Why not just share it with you? The world's changed. This whole secret, I'm not going to share it with anyone. It's ridiculous. What? So you started wholesaling in 2014 and now you have all the magic and the secret? Give me a break, dude. We're all learning at this. I think the more transparent, more open we are, the better we're going to do. I'm telling you guys, wholesaling is not hard. You just have to put in the hard work to get it done.
That's it. So guys, like that's the wholesaling game. I'm just telling you, like, we got Zachary Weaver says cold calling dead as can be. Just signed a $30,000 assignment while using a dead method. LOL. Like I'm telling you, like, guys, this when someone tells you something I say doesn't work, that's fine. Like I don't mind. You just got to think, what is there an ulterior motive to saying that? Now, I have said on record, I don't think PPC is probably the best marketing strategy. I just don't think it's worth the ROI. Why do I say that? Am I trying to sell you a course on something? No, because I've done PPC and it just did not work for me. I know people that make a ton of money with PPC. I just don't think for most people it should work. SEO?
Yeah, PPC is a job in itself. And unless you have that type of background and the investor wholesaling background, it's hard to put because they're two different worlds. Now, what most people do is you're going to hire a consultant. Here's what every standard consultant's answer is. You ready?
Yeah.
Give me 6 more months and I'll show you a difference.
That's what they say. And then,
everybody says it.
I've talked about SEO. Truth is, there's people in SEO that do really well with it. It's not my cup of tea, but people still make money on it. What I could tell you is just think of why someone's telling you it. So guys, that is the game on wholesaling real estate. Did you figure out that why I didn't get complicated with you? It's like, how do you lose weight? It's like, eat less calories than you burn. And then, work out once a day. We could get in the whole, oh, you have to do HIIT training. Then you have to run a marathon and then you have to do a sumo squat. No, what did I tell you? Just eat less than you burn and do one simple workout.
And come up with a game plan that you will stick to. So
yeah.
So many people say, hey, I'm looking for someone to tell me to do from A to Z. Well, you're going to skip 1 or 2 of the steps. It's just human nature. You have got to get a plan that works for you. If you hate cold calling and you're going to fail miserably at it, pick another avenue. There's a million. Go to freewholesaling.com. You got to find something that you're going to stick to, even if you get your teeth kicked in, because this is how wholesaling works, guys.
That's it. So guys, we are at 52 minutes into this. So what we're going to be doing now is talking to more people in the Wholesaling House for Real Mastermind. And that's what we kind of do. Like on Thursdays, first half, we kind of talk about something. In the second half, we do free one-on-ones. You got to go to Wholesaling Houses for Real on Facebook and you get the link to join in, talk to us one-on-one, absolutely for free. So let's kind of talk. Let's talk to people. And let's bring it up. So number 1, we got Dylan. Dylan, what is up?
Hey, what is up, guys? How's it going? Can you hear me?
I can hear you good, man. We're blessed. I will.
Hey, okay, good deal, good deal. Thanks for taking the call.
Of course, man. What's up?
So I just wanted to hop on here and tell you about the next deal that I've gotten into from your strategies. I was one of the lists that you had recommended I reach out to here in my local market. And so now I got a house with an ARV of 330 and we're under contract to 200.
Wow. Awesome. So what's your plan with it?
So my plan is to wholesale it. I'll tell you quick, the story on it is crazy, just really quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I reached out to the guy. He said, we agreed on price. He said, come over to the house. I go over to the house. It turns out that the house is completely trashed. And there's also, I counted about 7 different homeless people living in the house.
Oh, wow.
And I walk in there and it was a really scary situation. I walk in, there was a girl who was passed out on the couch. There's guys who were, shooting up heroin in the bedroom next to us while we were at the kitchen table doing
Dylan,
the
is this
deal.
your first day in Florida? This ain't your first day in Florida.
This is my first time being in a total drug house. I mean, people's names are carved on the walls. It is nuts, man. It was a gentleman who's living there in the house, and he's living with, a variety of different people that just use his house to do drugs, and I mean, it's in rough shape. It's in rough shape.
That's wild.
It
So,
ain't
oh my God. I mean, I
Dylan,
was really nervous. I was walking around, taking photos and videos, and there's people arguing in the back, and, there's people like walking around, and I was really worried someone was going to come up and, do something. I don't know. It was a really different scenario.
Yeah, no. So we've had our share of those.
yeah,
It's just,
if you haven't dealt with a house like that, you haven't invested in real estate long enough.
you haven't
And
been in Florida long
you're starting your
enough 'cause
journey,
they,
man.
like,
yeah.
I go, what do you mean there's people living there? I don't know. I don't have a lease. They just show up. I'm like, okay, great. So free tenants.
Hey, those are great
Yeah.
deals. Oh,
No, that's where you get the best deals.
you could always say, I don't want that. Guys, it's a perfect wholesaling house.
So how'd you find that deal?
So that was through a code violation list, just like Zach said.
There you go,
code
guys.
violation. Let me tell you, the guy, when I reached out to him, he said, Dylan, I will literally give you the house if you can find me an RV. And I mean, I couldn't believe it. And so I've been helping him to look for an RV. We got it. I told him I can't coordinate the transaction of the RV. I can buy your house, and I can give you enough money
Thank you.
to help
There you go.
get an RV.
He's watched enough videos from us where you do not help
Yeah.
a seller buy a place,
Especially in today's
Yeah,
market,
you
guys,
lose the deal.
when you promise to get them another place or even a rental, it will literally kill your deal. So you always want to separate. So like, the old story when people try to sell you like furniture in the house, sell the house first and make the furniture like an afterthought. I've watched entire deals get screwed up over like a chair. So same type of deal on this. It's like you got to get through it, man. It's
Yeah.
that's really cool, man.
So-
I mean, that's awesome.
So we do have some more room to negotiate. I'm going there tomorrow with my buyer and his general contractor. He's aware of the whole situation. I sent him all the pictures, videos. He's experienced, and so it's someone that I've built a relationship with, I trust. So we're going there tomorrow to look at everything and see where it goes from there. He wants to put his eyes on the place, understandably.
So
The guys
when you say
promised to
there's
have
more
the
room
house
to
cleared out.
negotiate, why do you say that?
Because the amount that he would be receiving, he doesn't want money. He wants an RV. And so if I need to come back to him and say, hey, there were some things that came up during our inspection period that we didn't see, the first time around, our renovation budget is going to be more, or
Dylan.
if there's an additional.
Be careful, man. Jim Cramer has a great quote. I always say it. Bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. The truth is, sometimes you might think you get a reduction. That might ruin the deal. The guy might get sour. Sometimes you lock it up and it's a good deal. Sometimes greed could kill the deal. I'm saying that in the nicest way. It's like we
Yeah.
can make 80K on a deal.
Yeah.
I could probably make 90. That extra 10K could lose the entire deal.
So I'm here to tell you that, like Dylan, so reductions and negotiation is part of the journey of like learning wholesaling. So I
hate to see you lose the deal.
Yeah, don't
know.
get too aggressive in the beginning because it's blowing up on me.
Now,
So,
if there's
like,
termite
sometimes-
damage and like he didn't say that before and you bring that up, it has to be like a legit reason. Just be
Of
like,
course.
So how much
Very
is he going to
careful.
net on the deal when you cash him out, roughly?
$19,000.
19?
Yeah, he has a mortgage for $181,000.
Okay.
how much do you lock it up for?
200.
And
Okay.
how much does the cash buyer agree to buy it for, basically?
Right now we're at like 220, depending on condition.
Okay.
So I don't know much about RVs. I know they're kind of like a
They're going to
pain
be
in
more
the
than 20K.
butt. Yeah. So you just got to kind of be careful
No,
not to
no,
set up
man.
a false expectation. That's all.
Yeah, he's found a couple that are within that price range. That are
Yeah. So a
from,
reduction might get that out. He might grow sour for that. Like, I don't want you to lose this deal. And that's the
me
way.
neither. Yeah, it's not something that I'm intending going on. It's not like
Perfect. Okay. Just making
part
sure.
of the plan. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just something that I am aware of in case it has to happen. If it gets into a situation where, hey, something else is revealed
Yeah.
that was unexpected before, and now the renovation cost is going to be substantially different than what we planned for initially, I at least know that won't immediately kill the deal, and I have some other possible option to.
So if you have to do a
strategy. So
reduction, a couple little tricks on here, guys. sometimes you can ask for a credit and sellers just, it doesn't bother them as much.
Yeah.
So like say the AC's bad and go, listen, that the AC is going to be at least 6 or 7 grand more. Can I just get a $5,000 credit towards the closing? Instead of coming back and like chopping the price and
Maybe
giving them
1,000.
culture shock,
It's
just try to get like, there's all sorts of, it all winds up being the same number, because if you use our assignment contracts, whatever reduction you get comes back to you anyways, no matter how you word it. The old way, if you do a regular assignment contract, any reduction goes to the new buyer. So I put that clause in there because I got burnt so bad so many times that sometimes I negotiate all the way to the end if I can get away with it. But as Zach says, don't get greedy with it. Experience will tell you when you can ask for more and when you can't. I always ask for discounts when they're needed. Like I put it under too high of a contract price and we found this kind of damage. So listen, like, can we do this number? And I go back to them and hit them. And guys, just don't hit people in the day of the closing unless it's urgent, unless they completely hid something from you.
But you got a good deal there.
That's really good.
You already know the process. You're bringing them through. I think this was motivational for a lot of people, but like, you got this, man. Like, hey,
Dylan, how long have you been doing this now?
This will be 8 months full time.
So I'm just kind of letting you guys know, like Dylan's taking advantage of our one-on-ones here. It's like a journey, right? It was frustrating the first couple months. It was just like he felt like he wasn't getting traction. It's so easy to say, hey, I could just go back and do my normal life before. But the problem is you've got to understand why you got out of that in the first place and what you're trying to aspire to do. So anything you change, it doesn't matter what it is. It's tough at first, but he's been coming on here week after week and
niche list, man. Probate.
You got it.
I mean, code violation. So
let me tell you guys how true that is. When you told me early on, and man, exactly what you said was so true in my experience, where the first, I'd say 4 months, it really took me a long time just to build up a decent amount of leads to where I would have enough leads to call, because the vast majority, I mean, you're right, 98 to 99% of people that you call initially aren't interested. That 1% to 2% that are interested, it's much less common that they're like ready to go that day.
They're never ready.
You just, So you put them into a follow-up campaign and you just keep having consistent follow-up. But if you have so few leads, that leaves you with a lot of time that you're still trying to build leads. And I finally, after 8 months of consistent lead generation, now I'm getting to the point where my leads that I have coming in have become much more consistent. The number of leads that I have is to a point where I am busy all day, lead follow-up and acquisitions all day. I mean, I'm getting to the point where I almost have more leads.
Yeah, and it gets better each month because you get all those.
But it takes time.
I've told you, I've had someone 4 years I've waited out before. 4 years. I go, I'm getting that deal.
I'm telling you, Dylan, it's like you work out, man. There's people in the gym they'll spend. These people. They'll spend 4 hours in the gym. And
they
you got guys
3.5 hours on their phone.
And then you got guys like they'll be in and out 45 minutes and they're jacked. It's like same thing for like marketing. It's like you could be really efficient with it, or you could spend hours and hours doing. You could get the same results.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. So it's like, dude, you're doing really well. I mean, unfortunately it took you this long to learn the niche list lesson. It took me a year, right? So like you beat me by 4 months, right? Realizing
man, I'm a slow learner when it comes to everything. I'm the type to just like continue to persist through maximum pain, but I am like a slow learner. I know, Zach, you said like, hey, you can hardly study at all and ace a test. And I'm the exact opposite. I grind and study my ass off nonstop to get a B-. And that's just how it's always been.
I'm more of a C-.
And I've always figured if I'm just like persistent enough, like it ends up working out.
Once you get it, you get it, right?
Quick. Yeah. I mean, once you learn the skill, like you said, you have the skill. You could start from nothing right now, and you have skills that could get you to be, financially successful, career in real estate or other aspects.
So like
because
right
once you
now,
develop those skills.
I've done this so long. Zach's done it long enough. You gave me 24 hours on the phone. I guarantee you I could come up with a deal and make 20, 25 grand. I take it for granted. In the beginning, I would have done anything to even have the skill set to do that, just because I've had 20 years of leads built up. And after your
Yeah.
first year, then it's like, it's really cool, some of the stuff that'll come across your desk, because especially when you have a market shift here, which maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. Who knows?
Well, that's what I would recommend to your. I know a lot of people that follow you are similar to me, where they're early on. They're probably within their first year or two of pursuing real estate, wholesaling, investing, and that would be, my suggestion is to follow you guys and really truly know, like, hey, this is not something that happens overnight, especially if you're new into it. It takes time, and it's a long-term plan, and that has just been so utterly true in my own experiences. And you guys told me it from the day one that I found you, and it's been true up until now, and it's going to continue to be true throughout this journey.
But that's the difference between you and the average person. It's like you 8 months, right? Till it's more consistently better. About 3 months in, you're thinking about quitting, right? Most people just quit there. But the problem is you push past that point where it's like, now it's not a problem. And that's literally everything. It's like, there's going to be a point where you just want to quit. If you can just get past that point, you're good. And
yeah, I had those moments. I'm sure you had them, and it's just like
everyone's had them.
You got to make a commitment and get through it, because to sit and look at your first 90 days of like wholesaling, it's a little bit rough. But if you can get through it, I'm here to tell. I knew it's 20 years. He's doing it 5 years. You've been doing it 8 months. The same consistent pattern is we never gave up. We set a goal, we wrote down our why, and we just got through it. And there's brutal days, that, but there's like really good days. So the only challenge is being a wholesale entrepreneur is you got to find that equilibrium, especially after you do a closing. Like, to me, the greatest high is like putting a property under contract. Like, to me, it's better than any drug you can ever give me out there. It's like the best. Is that like you're walking on water? It's like, if I could have that feeling every day, I would do it. And that's what you guys need to be.
Well, you do get that feeling every day.
I do get it. It's like it's really.
But you don't lock them up, so it's just like, it's kind of like a secondary. It's like, oh, okay, you got us. You got this deal. It's never as good as you personally in the deal, but better than going out there.
It's like a natural dopamine. I can't explain it, because we all crave it. Like, it's easy to take a drug and get it, but it won't last. With this, like, when I got a contract, it's like 2 or 3 days it lasts, and I look, and then I tell him, I go, this is where he helps me out. I get bored. I'm like, okay, let's find another contract. He's like, oh, we got to finish all this. I'm like, well, give it to somebody. We'll figure it out. And the idea is you get 8, 9, 10 contracts going on. Like, it's a lot of fun. But I always tell people, figure out wholesaling and then figure out where you want to do. A lot of people right now, let's run a big business wholesaling. I don't know. That's not my cup of tea. But if you want to do it, knock yourself out. I will tell you, the bigger the business you go on it, your ROI gets lower, because you have to dump so much capital in marketing and a team and investing. And eventually you get an office like that. Make sure your why is like, do you want to sit at a desk all day and run a 5 to 10 person team? I don't, but that could be different for you. Like, I'm not here to tell people do what you want if you're in your 20s and you want to run like that. But to me, it's about unlimited income and having freedom of my time. And sometimes you can only get one of the two.
But Dylan, you got it. You did it, man. Keep it up, bro. I love seeing it. Like,
it, man. Really appreciate it. I did want to get on here and just make sure I get to ask you one question. I had a seller today that I spoke with that I'm not sure how to approach the situation, so I'd love to know your guys' input. He lives out of state. Called him. He's interested in selling. Gave him an offer that makes for a phenomenal wholesale. And he was like, oh, okay, that sounds like a good offer. I got to talk it over with my wife, but he was not put off at all. And so he seems interested. The thing is, he says that he is interested in selling, lives out of state. The house they use is their vacation home. And he says, well, I wouldn't be able to sell for another 4 to 6 months because we were planning on going down there and getting our possessions, our furniture and everything out of the house. I told him, okay, that's fine. Normally in this situation, we can just put an agreement in place so that we know we are able to, count on being able to purchase this property, and we can work on your timeline. If it's, a few months down the road, that's fine. But how do you guys go about that? Is, securing a property with a seller that, once they get their stuff out, do you help expedite that process, or do you put it under contract and then just put it
Yeah,
many months out?
that's
How do
easy.
you
It's
navigate
online.
that?
So put it under contract right away, and then on your closing date,
Like tomorrow. Like put on a contract ASAP.
today,
Yeah.
and then put on the closing date on or before, and put a date that's acceptable to them.
I would do 9 months. And that why I say 9 months is because I'm like, but why not 6? Because they might be like, I need an extra month or something. The thing is,
you want to get them obligated first.
yes,
Okay.
6 months works too.
Try to set 6 months without chasing them down for an extension.
On or before.
On or before. Find a date that they're happy with. Ask, don't tell them. And then number 2, you have to call them once every 30 days because they'll forget about you.
Every couple weeks.
Like you got to, hey, so right off the bat, I'd have the title company call them, pull the title, get preliminary information.
And this is virtual, so it's easy. So what do you tell them every 2 weeks? Ready? Hey, Mr. John, I drove by the house. Just letting you give me an update. It looks good. Everything's secure.
Okay. A couple other tips. As he said, if there's anything you can help them with the house, simple lawn care, utilities, stuff like that will keep them obligated to you. It's not a giant expense, but if it's a house or something, you can have someone mow the lawn for like $100, $150 a month. Well worth your investment.
Yeah.
And then the last one, if you want to help facilitate their move, just ask how they feel about pods. So everybody knows about pods in Florida. It's a portable on-demand storage. So it's like a crate that gets dropped off. They load it and then they come back and pick it up and store it. You could do like a 90-day or 180-day program to put their stuff in storage. So, and then that gives you a huge jump on the property too.
And
Pods are very
Old people like going through the house sometimes, though.
Well,
like,
they can do it, but they can put the stuff, store it, and then they can have it shipped or stored wherever they need it. The kind of a peace of mind, and just say, listen, in a month or two, we can go. Don't push them too hard. Some people, they delay it because they're having a hard time separating with it. So the most important thing is to get the contract and get it locked up and just say, listen, I'm not moving in it. So the beauty is I'll work with you. So when you're ready to go, we can just fund this thing and we're good to go. So if you can get access to the place beforehand for anything like that, but contract first, and then make sure you keep in touch with them, and then try some of the tricks as far as, the pod storage and stuff like that to help speed it along.
And that's the route that I had set up for him. So I'm really glad that it looks like the things I was saying were in line with what you're recommending. The last thing is, how would you overcome an objection if someone says, I want to sell a house, but why would I go under a contract now when I'm not going to be able to sell it for X many months? What do you guys respond to in that type of situation?
Because it's done. It's final. Like most people sell a house because they're trying to get rid of a problem. At least our customers do. So they people like to have clear-cut dates. Because as much as they say the market's going up, guess what? What if the market goes down? You can lock in your price.
You already said you want to sell the house. I don't see the difference.
So it's just a matter of timing. I'm ready to go right now, but I'm willing to wait for you. So that way you can have their funding set up, everything set up. And if you want to do it that way, it'll work well. Not everybody agrees to that, Dylan. Like it is what it is. But some people like finality, like, oh my God, I can tell everybody the house is sold. It's good to go. Then I know I have my money to buy the new place. Hey, one other thing on that guy before is he's got a mortgage on that. Is he buying another place? He's buying an RV, right? With his proceeds? Did you ever explore as possibly taking over his mortgage?
I did. I was doing a sub 2, but what deterred me away from that was I was very hesitant because the guy is obviously not in a very good
I got it.
Position.
Okay. I'm just asking.
I was just yeah. I mean, I that was my first thought, and then I was like, oh man, I'm kind of hesitant about getting into a long-term relationship with this individual.
I agree. When I hear you're moving into an RV, though, that is an opportunity to take over for owner financing. But
yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay,
that's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Keep it up. You know where we're at. We see you every week.
You guys are awesome. I say it all the time, and yet can't say it enough. Thank you for everything. I honestly don't know if I would be, right here if I didn't have the opportunity to get to talk to you guys and bounce things off you and learn from you guys, and really just like get through the mental challenge, even more than the financial challenge, the mental, emotional challenge of grinding through, especially those early months.
Yeah.
Man, you can't thank you guys enough, as always.
Of course,
Okay.
Dylan. Thank you
You're
so
welcome,
much.
buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Take care, guys.
All right.
Talk to you later.
See ya.
See ya.
Boom. I love seeing that. Right.
Okay. Let's go.
We got Joel. What's up?
Hello, Zach. How you doing?
Joel, from our last conversation, I'm just gonna get straight
Yes.
to it.
I
Did
went.
you make 100 calls?
I made probably not 100, but I made like 60, 70, we could say.
Okay.
I still did cold calls. They went.
Why didn't you do 100?
100 was because I was having little issues with leads, and time because it was
Leads?
kind of sleep.
You get more leads from calling more.
Mm-hmm.
He's
But
talking about prospects, probably.
Zillow for sale by owners are unlimited.
Okay.
mm-hmm.
All right,
So
go
we
ahead.
did some
What's
cold
up?
calls. So we did some cold calls. They went all right, but a lot
Okay.
of no's. We'll be honest with that.
All right.
Yeah.
You know that going into
Yeah,
it.
you know that going into it.
Yep. You're right. 98% were no's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they went all right, and some were a little bit rough because some were like gangsters. I'll say that.
Hey, what do we do when we call rough people and they're not nice to us?
On the
cut
next
it.
call.
Yeah, hang up.
What do you mean
Just go to the next
gangsters? Like
one.
I mean, I don't care if you're a gangster. I don't care if you're a baseball player. I don't care if you're a football player. Do you want to sell your house or not?
That's it.
Like what do you mean by gangsters? I don't get it.
They're like, they're kind of like criminalish, but like the ones who have sagging pants, if you know what I'm talking about.
So how long of a conversation are you having with these people?
I'm telling you, I don't care if someone's a criminal or not, if they have a felony record. I don't care. Like, I want to buy their house.
Okay.
To a point, like, right? Like, unless like there's like unless like the cartel owns the house and there's like this crazy, like really illegal operation going in there, and I agree to buy a house with all this crazy, like, follow the law. But like, if someone's a criminal and they still want to buy their house, it's still legal. Like, I'm like,
by the way, motivated sellers come from all angles, my friend. I've had
how many deals?
People going to jail. I've had people arrested at closings. You name it, I've had it happen to me. Motivation forces people to make decisions. So, dude, we just want you to get through the phone calls. The idea is when Zach says make 100 calls, you should be calling us back saying you made 300. And I'm just trying to, you have to set an expectation level because I'm not taking your money. Zach's not taking your money. We're just going to tell you the truth.
Exactly.
And we talked about this today. If he comes on, what do we do if he did less than 100 phone calls?
Bro, like, you got to make 100, man.
You got to do it, dude.
I'm saying this in the
At least we
nicest
started.
way. You got to make 100.
No, I'm not giving you credit till you do 100.
We can't, man. Dude, we told you last week, get 100 calls and come back, man.
Because we got to turn 100 into 1,000.
But let's do the math.
Step.
What's 100 divided by 7? That's roughly what? 15, 20? Like I'm just telling, like, you need to make your 100 calls, man, because your biggest issue is the confidence with the calling.
Yep.
You need to go with, how did you get any yeses with those calls?
Oh yeah, I got a yes. I was qualifying them. I didn't.
Okay, what
I got
happened?
to the point where I qualified them, but I didn't. The offer portion was where the trouble was
Why?
in a lot of them. Like the second call when you had to call them back.
Okay. What's the issue?
So it's like like trying to coordinate the offer correctly. Like first day I got them to say their price. So it's like there was some issues with that. Getting
What was MAO?
the MAO for what?
The deal.
The MAO was like 200 or like 240-ish.
Okay, what do they want to sell the property for?
They were going for like, this was for sale by owners. So this was a full gutted rehab and they were halfway through it. They wanted to sell it for 230, which made absolutely no sense.
Yeah, you just,
That's good. Your MAO is 240. That should work, right? Either you did your MAO wrong or something, but
no, it needs
did you make an offer?
Oh yeah, I made an offer. I gave them wait, not MAO. Sorry, the ARV was 240. Then my MAO was around that was 70% of 240. So that was around
Why is it 70%?
because of the area. And then
Okay.
repairs I went around like because it was full gut, so I kind of went around like I said 50, 60-ish.
All right. You got to get some more calls. That's probably not a good deal.
Yeah,
then.
you got
So,
you got
Yeah,
to
that was not good at all.
Joel, you have a debt with me. You owe me something now. You owe me 100 calls next week.
Perfect.
I'm being completely honest with you, man.
Are going to be able to tell when we role
Yeah,
play with
like
you.
so you went on last week and you said, how can I better calling? I said, you need to make 100 calls and get back to me.
Mhm.
There should be no more videos you should be watching.
And 100
And-
calls, to be honest, it's really
You
light.
can get that done this weekend. So I
Sure.
need you to do me a favor. I'm saying this. I legitimately, I say this in the way where I want you to succeed. Because you got a yes. Was that the first yes you've ever gotten?
Yep.
You're calling?
That was
Yes.
the first yes.
Well,
I
let's
got
go
two
get
yeses.
two more. Let's get two more. Okay.
All right.
Let's get two
Perfect.
more. Get back to me. Okay. Like you're getting better. And the
Remember,
thing is, I need you to get better at this by going. So
it's a numbers game.
you owe us
So
100, bro.
You get one yes out of what, 70 phone calls. You're right along the numbers there. You need to up the volume. Let me give you a little story. When he was still living under my roof and going to college, he committed to this cold calling thing, which I knew would put some more hair on his chest.
Mhm.
So when he did it, he would sit down at dinner table and finish his last 15, 20 calls. Because he'd tell his mother, he's like, I told dad I was doing 100 calls today. I'm getting it done. You have to have that mentality just to get it done. If you can't get it done, you're going to struggle. And this is just a life philosophy. You have to make a commitment to yourself and follow through on it. That's how your confidence goes through the roof. If you said you're going to do 100 and you did 70, you kind of tricked yourself.
Here's the thing. I'm being nice because I could just cut you off right now because you told me you're doing 100. You did not do 100. Bro, you owe me 100. You owe everybody watching the stream 100.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sure.
Will you get 100?
This time I think I could do it. Yes. You know what?
Okay.
I will.
I don't
want
believe
one
in you.
more
I don't
answers.
believe in you, man. Because you said I think. We don't talk like that.
Just say, I'm going to do it.
You know
I'm
what?
gonna do it.
I will.
It's it's a transaction.
I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
You have to go. It's like filling up. So when you fill your car up with gas, do you typically fill it up all the way? I know it's painful
Yep.
right now, but
Always.
you don't go, well, I'm going to try to fill it up, right? Either fill it
Yep.
up or you don't. You have to take the same approach when you do cold calling.
Mhm.
There's no in between. You have to go all the way or don't do it at all, in my opinion.
Mhm.
So
And just one question for the offer part: how should when you call them back? After qualifying, the qualifying part went really well with most of them. It's just that second calling back offer portion. So how would you usually go about that? Just you ask them how much would you want to sell it for, and then give them a low ball offer. So you get that initial no. So how should we structure those words with them?
How much do you want to sell the house for? Here's the problem, man. You're watching you're cold calling the for sale by owners, right?
Yeah, and I'm also calling some niche lists like
Okay.
probates and
Have
some
you seen the hundreds of hours of live for sale by owner cold calls I do?
Yeah, I watched some of them.
So what I'm asking you is, what do I say to those people when it comes to the price?
You usually go are you willing to sell when you started off? So then
When it comes to the offer.
usually you get an initial no. That's what I remembered.
Okay.
Mhm.
I usually get a price commitment every single time I do those lives. So the reason why it's on there. So number one,
Mhm.
hey, what price do you need to sell the property for? It's a for sale by owner. They say 230, 240, whatever like that.
All right.
Okay, well, the property needs to be listed to the studs, everything like that. You want to sell it. Me and my partner, we probably can't be at that price. We're probably going to be a little lower. Is that something you're okay with? Yes. Well, roughly, how much would you actually need to sell it if we're able to close on it in a month? You get a kind of price. You negotiate a little down from there. Let's say 200. Are you ready to make a price commit? Can you make a commitment today for 200 for me and my partner? Go buy it. Ready? Boom. 200. You're good to go. That's it. I'm just go through the for sale by owners, man. I need 100 calls,
Perfect.
and that's it.
And
So-
Joel, the more calls you'll make, the easier it is to
I think you're
identify a
100%
motivated seller.
correct on that.
Because I'm telling you, motivated sellers,
Mhm.
when they want to sell, they usually try to find a way to work with you. Unmotivated people waste your time.
Yeah, the unmotivated wasted my time so much. That was the first call. I wasted my, like, before even having lives with you guys. The first call was a for sale by owner, completely destroyed property. I wasted my time on that. But
Yeah, you just got to qualify and move on.
Yeah.
So
So, cold
make
call?
those phone calls.
Do a niche list, like do code violations too. If you want. I'm just trying to eliminate excuses for you. That's why I said for sale by owner. You know, you can do probates. I don't care. Get 100 calls. This is like the last one, man. Like if I don't get 100 calls next week, I really don't know how motivated you're going to be.
Alright.
Saying them the nicest way possible. I do this
Sure.
from a place of love. I
tough love, but I love it.
It's not tough love. It's what's best for you.
It's the
Yes.
truth.
It's not tough.
I'm
I'm not going to be like, it's okay you didn't do 100. It's
No.
not okay. Like,
Yeah.
are you at where I be completely honest? Are you at where you're at in life right now financially? Are you at the place where you want to be?
Honestly, no. But
No.
that's what
So-
motivated me last week to push
You got
it.
to make a change.
Well, Joel, it wasn't motivating you enough, obviously.
Yep.
Do I have to be at a point where you're struggling to breathe when it comes financially for you to do this?
No,
I don't need to be at that point. And unfortunately, that's the truth. So I don't need to be at that point. So
Yep.
I'm saying this in the nicest way, man. You got to get 100 calls in.
All right. Thank you for the push. Like, I appreciate this.
I gave this push last week, man.
Push
it's-
again.
It's
like-
what's best for you.
It's like how my dad pushes me. I love how you two both are just
You
on
don't
me.
grow when you're in a comfortable situation. You grow when you're uncomfortable. I need to get uncomfortable for
Exactly.
me.
I need to get more uncomfortable.
Get it, man.
All right. Thank you. And one more
Appreciate it.
question. So once they do get a contract, should I use your contract has everything listed, right? Like all the
Use my contract. I feel. Are you using my cold calling script for the niche lists?
Yeah, I'm using your cold calling script.
Good. All right. Use my contract too. Then
That's
Use
kind
my
of gave me a
script,
lot of
use my contract.
confidence because I kind of knew what to say in the next.
All right, man. We'll get it. If you're not liking the 4 sub-owners, do the niche list, man. Get 100.
Yeah, I'm doing
though.
niche lists now. Those were so much better
Okay.
in FSP.
All right. You got this, man.
Get it,
Thank
Joel.
I promise
100.
next week. You know what? I'll make this promise right now. It's on camera, right? I make
Yeah.
this commitment. By next week, I will make 100, hopefully more, on God. Okay?
Dude, this
Got
is a.
You
As
got
a
to be
con-
you got to be accountable to you because that's the only person that really matters.
I
here.
legitimately I put no faith in that. Your actions will speak louder
Yeah.
than your words.
So we're a big firm believer of watching what people do. I'll listen to what you say, but I'm more
and here's the cool part:
watching what you do.
if you go tell me to 300, I'll clap it. We will go through the 101. I'll go through a role play with you and see if you actually did it. Your actions will speak louder than your words.
We're talking about
Right.
practice, man.
We'll see you soon, man. See you next
All right.
week.
Thank
Okay.
you.
It ain't tough love to a point where it's like, do you, like seriously, if you're watching this right now, you don't want to take action. Do you want to be at the point where you have to be doing cold calling? Like where like you have to? No, you should be at a point where like you're ready to make that change. I don't want you to the point where you like it is a necessary action. Like my kids can't eat next month and I have to cold call. Like you should not be at that point. Be at the point where you want to make a change in life. Like
Yeah.
most people can't do that until it hits a point where they have to start making a change.
So I had somebody on here, I think a couple of weeks ago, like, I have to get a deal in the next 2 weeks or I'm going to lose my house. Wholesaling ain't going to fix you in that way. I'm sorry, guys. Like it's, you got to stabilize the ship, then do wholesaling. So if you're in a critical, like cash 2 weeks, that's a lot. Now, anything can happen in 90 days. You apply yourself, but anything within like 30 days, you've got to understand like what you're up against. Straighten out whatever your issue is and then go hard in wholesaling.
Yeah.
But wholesaling can't be the one trick pony that's going to solve your life because it might, but it'll be temporary.
Exactly.
So
Next here we got Matt. Matt, what is up? Matt.
I saw him for a moment.
All right. Bye, Matt. All right. Guys, get ready on this. Let's go. Fernando.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up?
How you doing, man?
It's all good. It's all good. You know, just learning a lot. That's all good. It's all good. I have a few questions about marketing today, if that's okay.
Let's get it, man.
Shoot.
Okay, so here in Pensacola, I've noticed that bandit signs are totally fine. I've seen them all around. I've seen them all around town, and I'm just curious. Do custom bandit signs matter?
To a point, you can buy regular done bandit signs. You can do the Sharpie method. To a point, I think the best custom ones, you just go to a local print shop. They're usually cheaper than the online ones.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
my question for you, Fernando, is like, I mean, you live in Pensacola, you know, like, are there bandit signs working there?
Honestly, I don't know if they're working, but I see them all around town, and
Okay.
I see them all around, and I see them always in the same place. So I know they're not they're not being pulled up. So I assume because there's, I would say, probably like 3 different ones that say "We buy houses cash," and they're always there, and so they're not being pulled up or anything. So I assume that they are working, and one of them is custom. So it's this guy that did invest a lot of money into his bandit signs, and I assume it is working for him. But
Try it out, man.
okay.
Yeah. So
You can do the Sharpie, stencil, whatever one you want. But
so when it comes to making the sign, it's really not. I used to own a sign company because I did so many damn signs.
Okay.
Is if you want to print them, make sure they're printed on one side and do no more than 3 lines. Like anything more than 3 lines, they're not going to read. So if you can get it done for an affordable price, go for it. Just print one sign. White corrugated with black ink works fine. The other way you can do it, if you're on a budget, you can find someone to buy the blank signs. You can cut them in half or leave them in whole, and then just go over to Home Depot and get that big Sharpie
Okay.
and just write them. It really doesn't take that long to do it. The problem is to print those signs, the UV ink form has gotten brutally expensive. And it's
Okay.
the biggest problem in getting them professionally done is the shipping. It costs a fortune as well, too.
Okay.
And then they want you to make like 500 to 1,000 piece order commitments. It's ridiculous.
yeah, and you got to look at your time and everything. So, I mean, how much of a budget do you have for bandit signs?
I would say not just for bandit signs, but I think for marketing in general, that would be between business cards, cold calling, bandit signs. There's another one. No, I guess those 3 for now. It would be like $1,000, maybe a
Okay.
little bit more.
I mean, I wouldn't put more than 200 into bandit signs. Yeah. Just being honest with you, man.
Okay.
And the other part you need to know about bandit signs is, you're watching what signs go out. I'm going to let you know you're going to have a little bit of a problem. And if you know it going into it, when you put out your signs near your competitors, they'll start pulling your signs down. Ask me how I know. They're going to do it nonstop to you. You just have to have a plan to consistently put signs out, because what happens when you keep putting them out, you wear people get tired of pulling them out after a while. If they see you're constantly just going to be putting them back up, then just stick to the fight.
Try 30 or 40 and just see how it goes, man. Like, it's honestly,
just answer your phones live. It's a tremendous difference.
Bandit signs are weird, man. I put like 50 out and just see.
If you can get them to stick, they work very well.
I want to put 1,000 out or 500 out. Just do 50 and kind of see. Like, if you're not getting calls when you put 50 out, something's wrong.
I would go with the handwritten because it's faster. You can get it done quick. You don't have to wait for shipping and all this other stuff. So you just test it out.
I also saw on Amazon, they have like ones that pre-printed ones that say, "We buy houses cash as is," something like that. And it has a line under where you can put your phone number. Those I think are like 130, 140 for like 50 of them. So are those okay? Or
you could do that. I'm not a big fan of We Buy Houses. It's just so old and abused. There's not like everyone. Oh, you're the We Buy Ugly Houses guy. That's what they say every time you do it. So 3 lines. One of those lines is the phone number. And sometimes you can come up with creative sayings. You can Google it. There's a million ways to write these signs. I think a handwritten one's actually more powerful, but find somebody who was like, if you have a girlfriend or a wife or anything like that, has like good handwriting, although it's not going to be her favorite thing to do. And here's the other thing. If you're going to write them out, I'll give everybody a warning on this. You got to let the dang things air out in like your garage or outside, because the ink on like those big magic markers stinks to high heaven. So I used to put them in my car in the night before, and you'd almost pass out from the smell.
That's it. Just do the Sharpie. Should be good.
Yeah, the Sharpie will work fine. So I would get it out there and test it. And so put out 15, 20 signs, see if they get picked up. If those signs will stay, you'll get really good traction. If your competitors are going to pick them up, which they most likely will, try not to never pick up their signs, because you just start a war, and then maybe put them a little bit further away.
Okay, but so close enough where they can kind of get the same eyes, but not too close that they get picked up.
If you put it right next to them, you just piss them off and you start like a bandit sign war.
Okay, I gotcha. All right, sounds good. And you recommend the 24 by 18 ones?
I do.
Yeah.
I do it. You can get cute. You can cut them in half.
I just
But-
get the regular one.
Yeah, but if you do it, just your message is much smaller. And make sure you're close to stop signs, red lights, Home Depots, Starbucks, and Walmarts. That's what works best.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, now when it comes to like when cold calling, so I set up a Google Voice, but I tested it out, and when someone calls that number, it says like please wait for a moment and Google Voice will try to transfer you, and it sounds like a voicemail, and I assume someone's gonna hang up before it starts beeping. So do y'all recommend anything for that? Should I just stop using Google Voice and like do something else, or
Pretty sure you can remove that in Google Voice.
Yeah. So I think he's right on
You
this,
can
because
remove it in
you can
Google
remove
Voice.
it in Google Voice.
Yeah, it's just the call forwarding thing. Just go in the settings and change it.
okay?
And if you can't do that, you
That's
can
it.
find a virtual phone number so cheap.
Yeah, but Google Voice, you can do it fine.
Yeah, you do the setting on it.
Okay. Okay. I'll figure it out. That sounds
Perfect.
good. That sounds good. Okay. So what? Oh yeah. I've had this question for a while, and I swear I cannot find like an answer that fits in my head. How does a triple line dialer exactly work? Like, what if two people answer at the same time?
Then it'll bring the person that answered first to the front, and then the person that's second to the back of the line.
But like, will it be put on hold?
It'll be put on hold, but you probably won't reach them because you're calling the other person. That's how it
It's
works.
automatic. You don't even have to
Yeah,
worry about it.
so-
Like, don't think about it. Just do it if you're going to do it, because it has its own algorithm on like how it figures out who answers what or anything like that. So
Yeah. Basically, how it works is the second person will get put on the thing. Hold on. So it'll get caught on the thing. The dog in the other room going crazy. But
Very good.
dude, maybe it'll just go to a regular call, but like it'll just get caught. Like if two people answer at the same time, it'll just get put under the thing for the next one.
So like Rick said, I don't have to think about it. Like the other person will be on the line when I.
Well, they might not be.
Okay.
That's how triple line dialers work. You call them 3 lines at the same time.
And so let's say I finished talking to the first guy. Should I call the other guy again or no?
No, you got keep. That's how that's how triple line dialer works. It's not the end of the world, man.
Okay.
you're overthinking it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. And okay, so Zach, I saw your video the other day about, the Facebook method, the pasta method. I loved it. It was so cool to me. But why do you recommend cold calling as opposed to something like that?
Because you could only do, I don't know, 4 or 5 deals a year with that method versus doing, I don't know, 50 deals a month with cold calling, right? Just not scalable.
Okay. So is
You
it
can
just
do it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, why don't you do door knocking, right?
Yeah.
It ain't fun.
Yeah, it ain't fun. All right. So okay. It's not scalable because not enough leads come your way, or how come?
Because your Facebook accounts, you're stuck on so many Facebook groups to post in. With cold calling, I can scale it up. Like, I mean, you can do that. If marketing works, you can do 50 marketing channels, right? It's just with
Okay.
your bandwidth to do it.
Okay.
Test
Okay.
every marketing channel out, see which one works for you.
Like,
Like,
see which one clicks with you. Everybody gravitates towards what they feel works best.
Yeah.
And here's the truth of it. The funny part of it, it's what works for you first and doesn't drive you nuts. You'll use the rest of your life. So
Okay.
I started out doing direct mail because I felt like that was the only options I had. Guess what? I'm extremely confident in direct mail. We do cold calling, we do SMS, but like everybody knows me as the direct mail guy. You know why? Because I don't question stuff that works. Like I spend money every month and I know to a T exactly what I'm going to make because I've been doing it 20 years. You're just trying to find your niche. find one or two, it works with them. I promise you, the ones you find in the beginning, you'll never stop doing. Like Dylan said earlier, he found code violations after 6 or 7 months, and like that's his bread and butter. He'll never stop doing it, and that's what you got to find. Because once you find something, that's how your confidence balloons. And if you do it over and over and you get results, you get more and more confident doing it.
That's it. Try the marketing channels to come back to me. Like
we just try to give
that's
you as
something
many
that-
ideas as
yeah.
possible. We don't even do every marketing. We've tried every marketing method.
I mean, we do a lot, but we have people do the business for us. I promise you, man, if you do 15 of them, you're not going to be able to do each one effectively.
Yeah. Remember,
No.
So
a lot of you are one person
have you
armies.
ever, with that pasta method thing, have you done, how many posts have you made doing it?
No, nothing. I'm just nothing at all. I'm
You'll
just
let me get
learning.
back to me,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's work.
right? Like I can't tell if it's going to work in a scan bay counter or not because you got to do it.
I gotcha. No, for sure. I think what I'm gonna do, like I said, I got my list of code violations. I think I'm gonna cold call honestly because I'm very comfortable on the phone. You know, I'm a waiter. You know, so it's very easy for me to talk to people, and so that doesn't scare me at all. And so I think that's what I'm just gonna do for now. And I think I'm gonna do the bandit size too because I feel like it's very. I see people doing it, so I think it might work.
It
Try it
works.
out, man.
Worked for us.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. It.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time. Okay.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Fernando. See ya.
Boom. All right. Next here we got Corey. Corey, what is up?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
going on, Corey?
Oh man, how are you guys doing?
I'm blessed, man. How are you?
Very good.
Same here, man. So I got a couple questions. I just wanted to start out by giving you guys like the biggest shout out I possibly can. I'll tell you, I landed my first deal, closed it 33 days ago exactly today. I'm closing another deal tomorrow. That'll be my fourth deal. So within 33 days, when I close this deal tomorrow, it'll be 26,000 in total assignment fees in 33 days. And from the time from tomorrow to whenever I first started, actively taking action has only been about, I say 70 days. Found my first deal very quickly. It was a Zillow Fizbo. I called them, went on the appointment the next day, got it locked up for a really good discount off of the price, and I sold it like 8 days later. Got it assigned. And ever since then, it's been just government lists and driving for dollars. Driving for dollars has really been doing good for me lately. I'm averaging about every 250 to 300 prospects I bring in. Driving for dollars is averaging a deal for me. The last 3 deals have been driving for dollars, but I've also noticed one of them was a driving for dollars lead that I found, but it's also, when I searched on PropStream, was a tax delinquency. Another one was driving for dollars, but when I had pulled a code violation list, it was also on the code violation list. So I'm saying there's a lot of cross reference on, the way I'm pulling these lists. Like I could find them driving for dollars or from code violations, things like that. So now I'm getting to the point where I'm going to start, trying to scale up. I've just been cold calling. And, but some of the questions I had today is actually about probates. I'm wanting to really get into probates. And, because from what my understanding in my market here, there's only, Zach, you know where I'm at. We talked about it.
Yeah.
There's not too many really big time wholesalers here. There's a couple, single man army here, there, and one kind of decently sized operation, but they don't do government lists. I know for a fact. I've spoke to the person. They don't do government lists. They don't do probates.
You know what to do then.
Exactly. So
It's the goal.
I can, yeah, and that, I see all the probate videos. I've watched every probate video that you guys have, and it's just I know that that's like if I could make it work, I'd be sitting on a gold mine.
Corey,
Yeah.
why aren't you making it work?
Well,
Probates.
I have a couple questions about how to actually go about doing it. I
Go ahead.
can get the list. I went to the courthouse originally, requested the list, and they told me like, hey, if we give you this big list, we have to charge you so much per copy. So what they did give me was I go and say like, hey, I want the open cases for the last like 60 days or whatever. And they'll give me a case number range for me to look it up online. So I can look it up online, and with their system, you can't look it up just by like the last like 6 months or whatever, because it'll pull every case, like civil, criminal, all that.
Okay.
So And without those case numbers, you can't just filter down to just the probate. So I can get those case number ranges. When I look them up, what I'll see is I'll see like this state of John Doe, and I'll be able to see like where the beneficiaries are petitioning on there, where the original PR petitioned the court to open the probate and things like that. So what I've seen that I'm going to have to do is I can see on the probate who the deceased person was, cross-reference their name to the property assessors, because it doesn't show me like any property they own or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I cross-reference their name to see what kind of property they own. If it's something that I think would be a deal for me, then I go and I look at who's the PR on the case, cross-reference them. If I can get an address for them, then I skip trace them and market to them, or I thought about mailing them. I was just kind of wondering if there's a way that I could skip trace just the deceased person to get the relatives info. Because the only way I know of is if I use True People Search, it'll list relatives. But when I use Batch, it just gives me a list of numbers.
Well, did you go to the clerk of the court and ask? So they just said you have to pay for it?
What I told them was I was like, hey, I'm looking to get information on all the open probate cases within the last 60 days. And they told me that they don't keep a list, but they can give me a list of the records, but they have to charge me to do that.
Did you get a list of the docket?
Yeah. So they asked me what I'm looking for, and I just said I want a list of the docket, essentially the lineup of the case numbers and who the estate was, the estate owner, and who the PRs are and things like that. And they said they don't really keep a list like that, but in order for them to generate something for me like that, they have to charge me. And technically, according to the Tennessee Public Records Act, they can. If they have to compile a list, they can charge me an hourly rate.
How much?
It doesn't say. It's equivalent to whatever the clerk's hourly rate would be.
Corey, can you do me a favor? Are you near your phone?
Yes, I got it right here.
Message me the county name, and
Okay.
while you're talking to him, I'll look it up for you.
So a couple ideas while you're doing this. So remember, there's over, I think, 3,500 counties in the United States. Every county has a different procedure.
Right.
So just like Corey's telling you here, this isn't unique. Like they all have these, you got to do this and that. So find out what they're going to charge you if you have to pull that list. Sometimes it's a nominal $25, $35 fee. It might be worth it just to research it.
Right.
Number two, if you can reverse engineer it, figure it out yourself in the next 30 to 60 days, this is a perfect opportunity. If it works for you, then you can document it, come up what we call an SOP, a standard operating procedure, and then train a VA to do this monotonous task, because it will wear you out after a while.
Yeah, because
you're going to have to be reaching out, because your highest skill set is going to be reaching out, talking to motivated sellers.
Right.
And you have to work within the probate in your county and just kill them with kindness and keep re-asking the question till you find an answer that will help you get to your end goal. I can't really do that for you. Zach can't do it. You just got to keep swinging them. Trust me, they have all those files on records. They have to, because the judge has to be able to pull them up to get them done. So, by the way, if you do probate, you should always mail it to them. It's really, really cheap. And older people just enjoy mail. Do a letter. Don't do a postcard. It's really, really simple. And then if you want to do like a blanket mailing, you can always mail. If you don't want to chase down the PR and all that, PR name's better, but you can put on there to the estate of John Doe and the property address you're referencing to. And then someone's usually going by that house picking up the mail. But I will tell you this, Corey, if you do probates, you will double your profit margin.
Right.
Literally. I'm telling you right now, when I get a probate, I get double what I normally get in a wholesale deal with my eyes shut.
And kind of the way I came about the realization that I need to be, really figuring out how to do probates is there's a couple, I would call them developers / flippers around here. They don't wholesale, but they market to try to pull in properties the same way we do. So they, they're looking for motivated sellers, but they don't wholesale the properties. They buy them, fix them up, and then resell them. And when you look on their websites, they're always talking about, do you have an inherited property? And I've spoke and developed relationships with several of these owners of these businesses. And it's pretty much one of those things that if I get a probate under contract and it's a good property, call them and they'll buy it.
Yeah.
So
Remember, make sure you're selling to someone who's going to give you the best return.
I looked at the list too.
And there was one other thing. Make sure you're selling it for the best return. And I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying the probate I can't find on that website, which is really good for you. They don't even let you search, which is really weird.
You can search by like
state you're
case
in,
number or case year or filing.
They don't. I even looked in the state. Like that state is usually very good for public records.
Yeah.
So either you got to pay to just get that list compiled, which
might
be worth $100, dude.
Yeah.
Because it's like drawing for dollars, in my opinion. I'm not big on paying for a list, but like,
if
you have to pay for a list, that's
and nobody else is getting the list.
I can't get that list right now. Which
if I have to pay the ROI potential if no one else can get it is very
So I would consider that. Also, I would consider. Did you go to the courthouse in person?
I went there in person the first time. Yes.
Did you speak to the manager higher up or something like that?
I spoke to. I don't know if she was a manager or not. She was the lead clerk, I would say, because I spoke to just the regular receptionist at first, and she was like, "Well, let me get so and so for you. They're in charge here."
And did you ask like, how do you find like that's crazy?
No, you just listen. I would spend this is how I got really good at probates. I would spend a lot of time at that courthouse and just keep asking the right questions and just kind of kill them with kindness. And maybe try one paid list, see what that goes with it. Right. You got the VA option to help you with that, and then the mailing. Have you used the pre-probate in listREI.com?
I have, yes. One thing about that I've noticed is whenever I'm accessing the pre-probates for my market on there, I see a lot of these properties. It'll say like MLS details on there. Like at one point they were listed on the MLS, and I can't really tell if that sale went through because when I search the property records, it's still in the heir's name or the deceased person's name. So it looks like it might have been like an expired listing on there, but it'll just say under MLS details, it'll say pulled off market, category purchase, but the deed never changed names.
So I just mail to all of them.
Okay.
And if you can, what we call warm calling, do it because you got to understand you're not going to get a ton of probates. I tell people you won't go broke doing probates. Right. And the main thing with probate is get a system set up and just keep doing it. And I'm telling you, keep doing it. We go 2 or 3 months. Sometimes we don't even get a phone call, and then bam, we do 2 or 3 deals because I'm extremely consistent in doing it. Most people start it, they don't get a deal in 30 or 45 days, they quit.
Right.
Which is to your advantage. So, but remember, if you only did 4 or 5 or 6 probates for the year, but they were double your average profit,
that'd be
that
good.
alone would make you such a nice profit salary that everything else would be gravy above them.
Right.
So the biggest thing I get from people the probates are long and slow. They are, but they're the most profitable. And honestly, they're the absolute easiest deals to sell because most of them are vacant. They're run down. You have a ton of opportunity on them.
Right. Yeah. I've just, I've got a system figured up on the way that I can effectively do it. It's just a little bit time consuming with having to cross-reference the PR's information to the property appraiser to find their address. So it's a little bit time consuming. And I feel like once I actually start doing it, I might be able to streamline it a little bit.
Yeah.
There is a couple, I would say, hurdles that I'm actively trying to figure out the answer to. And one of which you guys might know, maybe not. I was leaning more towards I'm probably going to have to reach out to a probate attorney and ask them. But when I was doing some research, it came to my knowledge that in the state of Tennessee that the court will actually have to require an appraisal on the property before they approve the liquidation of the asset. And then at that point, they'll set up a day where any more potential buyers could basically bid up the property in the courtroom setting. So I don't know.
Where are you getting that information from?
I've seen it on all kinds of different websites.
Well, that means every single probate would get bidded.
Yes.
Which is kind of ridiculous. So if if my grandfather, passed away or something, I don't get the house, it gets bidded.
Yeah, no, you have there's certain
like it gets inherited to the next person. And that person can do whatever they want to the house.
From what I'm thinking that is if like there's a large debt owed by the estate, that might be something they do. That
Well,
way
or it could be a disputed
Corey,
if it's a disputed state. But you got to understand, as property right owner, they can sell the property whoever they
in the
want
United
to.
States, probate doesn't work where if someone passes away, it automatically gets bidded up.
No,
It doesn't work like that. So
Yeah.
you're probably reading it the wrong way. Now, maybe if you agree to buy it while it's in probate, maybe something like that. I have to read up on the law, but maybe you just have a contract with the new heir and just wait for probate to go through. That's another option. But some states you need an appraisal while it's in probate, but when you're buying a house,
very, very few. Because so once again, Corey, go out and get the truth.
Call your title
Don't
company,
take
man.
my word for it.
Right.
Check the title company. Check at the court system. But if that was true, that would take away a owner's property rights, because it's like everything would be bidded up. Everything would have to go through a real estate agent. A lot of these properties need help, and they don't want to go through all that. So if the PR and the heirs agree to sell it, and you're not selling it for like $1, I can't see a judge really saying no to it. The only time I've ever seen a challenge is when a probate's contested by family members.
Okay.
Then you kind of get stuck. So I've been caught in a contested one where one agreed and the 3 other didn't. And if it goes in front of a judge, you can't have issues.
Right.
So it's it's
read up on the law, man.
Read up on that. And I want you to understand, there's over 3,500 counties.
Yeah.
Every county is different, and the more you know the facts. So when you start marketing the probates, then you can actually give them the honest answer. When they say, "Hey, Corey, is it true that my property has to get an appraisal?" Now you'll have an actual answer for them instead of just going, "Well, let me think about that for a moment."
Yeah. So
And that was one of my main concerns, is making sure that, probates, it's touchy. And whenever I come to these people, I want to be the subject matter expert to them, because I don't want to lead them down the road of a process that causes more trouble for them, because they're already in a difficult situation.
Yeah.
I want to
remember, what do you do when you don't know the answer in a probate or really any deal?
I find the answer, tell them I'll get back to them.
Yeah, don't lie to them. Just say, "Listen, I tell you what, if can you give me just a couple hours? I'll give you a call back. I'll hop on with my attorney. I'll get you a factual answer."
Right. Yeah.
That way you're never in trouble. Like, you don't panic when you don't know the answer to the question.
Right.
Just go, "Let me get that answer for you."
Yep. I'm definitely going to have to figure out a way to, I'm right there on the verge of being able to effectively do them in my market. And I know once I do, it's going to be a game changer for me.
No, it's huge, man. That was my biggest regret when I my first 10 years, I didn't do that. Oh.
Yeah. I just,
okay. Well, I'm happy to hear about your success, man. That's awesome.
yeah.
Just keep going.
Yeah, I owe it all to the channel, man. You guys, like, wholesaling real estate has truly changed my life. And it's crazy, from whenever I first started seeing videos about it, I was like, I don't think I can do that. That seems complicated. And I followed your channel, watched all the videos, went through freewholesaling.com, and I was like, I can do this. And now here I am, like, got HUDs in my drawer here, money in the bank, and I'm just like, wholesaling, baby.
That's it, man.
Yeah,
That's the goal.
That's awesome. So guys, it doesn't, if you do it paid or for free, it really is up to your commitment, and make sure you follow someone that has a documented journey and they're actively doing it. And Corey's done it, and he's going to make his own mark on his own. So that's awesome.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. You guys have a blessed one.
Okay. Have a good one. Thanks, Corey.
Thanks.
All right. Boom. All right. Next one. Last one we got. Jonas?
Hey. What? What's up, guys?
Hey,
what's up?
Jonas,
How are
you
you
doing?
I'm in my bed. It's almost midnight here in Sweden. But
Sweden.
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 Yeah, Sweden, yeah.
Oh, you're a glow rider, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Got it.
What's that?
Oh, he always comments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
it's an
what's up, man?
really old name. But anyway, I wanna if you have PropStream, what's the difference between utility list on PropStream and utility list from the government, or probate from the government, or pre-probate from PropStream?
So pre-probate is basically a list where they go off the death records, and they just look at people that just died, and they say, do any of these people own real estate? That's what a pre-probate is. A probate is when the process is actually filed with the court system in the United States here. A government list versus a PropStream list. A PropStream list is just going to go after, it's going to pull things that aren't government. So, for example, a big PropStream list is the high equity list. The secret to the high equity list is they look at all the mortgages on people who own property,
Mm-hmm.
and then PropStream guesses how much it's worth versus how much is owed. And they say, well, this guy's got a lot of equity on the deal, so they put it on the list. Government's not going to do that.
Yeah.
The government is going to, the ways you get a government list is when the government goes after a property for an issue or something. So, for example, property goes on fire, the government has to go on there, put out the fire, it's on a list. You stop paying the water bill, it's on a list, right? Your grass is too tall, the code enforcement, it's on a list, right? Someone passed away, probate's on a list.
You stop paying your mortgage.
Yeah. Then the bank files something in the court system, which is part of the government, to be on the list. PropStream, they'll do liens for you, but you can do the same thing with a list. So PropStream has a utility where it will go after a certain list that aren't in the government, like vacants. They just make it easier. It's just a service.
It's super convenient. And for someone like you, international, you can search US data, like once you figure out how to use the filters and everything.
But you get a VPN.
Like it's amazing because you don't have to know anything about like our culture or anything. And like you can actually put a list together.
But government lists, you do the same thing. And even with a VPN, it's even easier. So it's like you're good to go.
Yeah, because when I pull the government list, I pull fire, code, and evictions.
Yeah, so the fire list, it's hard to pull online. You probably have to call for that or do an email. Email's probably best, honestly.
I tried doing that, but it directed me to the Open Records website where you.
Oh, okay. Perfect, man. Yeah. But yeah, those are the difference. It really depends on your budget. Like if you're just getting started, I'd probably just do government lists. Yeah.
How's real estate in Sweden?
Regulated.
No idea. I'm just 19, you know. Just thought I'd give this a shot. But also, when you're researching markets, how do you find like the top dogs, so to speak?
Like top wholesalers?
Yeah. Any tips?
Yeah. So usually, how I find that is a lot of the top people, they're not online. Like you don't even know from them. There's a couple guys out there I know they're like making $50 million a year in wholesaling. Like you're not going to hear about them. And those are people that kind of like approach me in the back end for things. Kind of it sounds shady. Like this is like the Illuminati of wholesaling, but like they'll reach out to you and then you got to verify their info. But the best way is just honestly Facebook. I've seen just searching. Let's say your market is Cleveland, Ohio, and just search that for wholesaling. And you can find people doing really well. You can watch podcasts. It's kind of hard to do. I know you're trying to reverse engineer the businesses. The only way you can really reverse engineer, especially when you're virtual, is listening to those people kind of talk on podcasts more or less. That's honestly like what I'd say.
And get on like their buyers list. It just requires an email, and just you can take that data. I'm telling you, this is how I do all my virtual marketing. This business, the wholesalers like to brag a lot. So if they got 8 deals under contract and like they're all in 2 zip codes, I can put 2 and 2 together. I can track them for a few months and go, okay, this guy only markets in these zip codes. They're working. That saves me from just going out trying to figure out if his market's going to work. I'm still going to test it. I don't trust all their data, but just find out where other wholesalers are working. Remember, just because it's on the internet doesn't always make it true. Like people just, there's a reason they call it. Well, I'm not going to say it. I might get in trouble. But people put their best version online.
Yeah.
You got to try to find like some reality. But if they're active and they're doing deals and they're trying to sell it, that's going to be the best indication if they're active in that market. And I would find it. So you'll find a lot of wholesalers are gravitated towards the really cheap areas like Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana, like, because they're all low. They're just low cost houses. So you're going to see a majority of them in like 70% of one area. Just heed the warning, because just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's easy to like sell or buy it for the right price. So you don't want the highest price house, but like I personally don't want to go in the hoods. It's just too tough. Like talking about people burning houses down and like, you know, drugs, stuff like that.
At the end of the day, I'd probably going after government list. You're doing it, man. So that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. It's been like 14 days. They haven't heard back, but I'll give him a call. Hound them. I don't know.
Just like that, and he's sitting there just pounding questions. That's what you guys want to do when you get on this.
I mean, slow but surely. Like you're not going to learn this business like automatically, but like you're just slowly getting better and better and better. You're taking action. You're pulling lists. You're doing things that most people aren't even willing to do.
And how old are you?
19, just turned 19.
There you go. He's just a baby. So use that youth, and just like, obviously you're using the internet to stoke up stuff like a sponge. So make sure you go towards channels like ours and stuff that's going to grow you. Look at financial stuff. Zach does that. And like, you can do whatever you want, man. Like, don't let anywhere where you're located or anything like that. I mean, you're international and you're looking at doing wholesaling in the US.
Fine.
That's awesome.
He's fine. I mean, I could give the stories. I've interviewed people from Trinidad, Tobago. Where is it? I know a dude from Prague doing wholesaling, like doing legit deals. Guy everywhere around the world. Like I'm telling you, we got people from Nigeria doing deals.
Yeah.
Like I got someone
It's
from
crazy.
Guatemala sent me a check. They did, guys. Australia, Graham. Shout out to Graham Solomon. You're going on this podcast Saturday.
Yeah.
Like he's from Australia. Like
it's a global economy,
guys,
dude. It's global. There's
you're doing
no other
everywhere
ways
on
around it.
You're fine, man. Like the only thing that when you're doing virtual that you need the most of, which I can't teach you, is confidence.
Yeah.
Once you get confidence, you're going to be fine. And confidence is not an accent. Confidence is not how old you are. Confidence is how sure in yourself you are, in your soul, that you can help somebody out. And just buying out, you're locking up a property and you're selling it to a buyer. You're fine, man.
Yeah, my heart is pounding like crazy over here. And thank you guys, because a couple of months before this, I stumbled upon wholesaling, but I can tell that they wanted to, squeeze money out of me, and so I just said no. But then I found you guys, and I just
Awesome.
Appreciate it, man. Hey, your heart might be pounding because you're probably not talking to us enough, man. You can get sick of our faces, and then you're gonna be like, okay, it's these guys again. So, guys, don't be nervous talking to us. Don't legit. The more confident you are, like talking to sellers more. So that's good. You're pulling the list. Have you started cold calling? Doing any marketing?
Yeah, a little bit, but the skip chasing costs are, really high.
TruePeopleSearch.com.
Yeah, True People. I tried that, and it's every once in a while it gets VPN, and then I can't. It says, yeah, you have a VPN, you can't use this website, and then I gotta wait a couple hours. But when I get this government list, I'm just gonna put my money aside. Skip chasing.
Have you used a VPN where you just switch the servers?
No.
What server is your VPN in?
It's in New York. That's all I know.
Dang, that's crazy. True People Search sees that.
I mean, it's free, so they're.
I use a VPN, and mine's in Colorado or something. But all right, but
just keep playing around with it.
Keep playing around with it. There's always a workaround. But dude, I love it, man. Keep it up, dude. Keep consistent, and it's midnight. Better get it going to bed, man.
Yeah. Tired. All right, thank you guys a lot.
Appreciate it, man. Have a great one.
Have a good one, man. See you.
Come on, he's at midnight his time trying to get information out. I'm telling you, it's not the information for wholesaling success. There's no secret to it. It's out there. It's seeking it and taking the action. So guys, if you are brand new in this business, getting started wholesaling real estate, all the information we just gave you, it's all right here at freewholesaling.com. The question is, are you going to take the action to get the success in this business or not?
It's up to you.
It's up to you. We can only teach you so much. The truth is you need to take that action. So guys, go out here, take the action, smash that like button and subscribe. Check out freewholesaling.com, and we'll see you guys soon. Have a blessed one.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Just start talking about your top 7 niche lists.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about that.
We're excited about that one. We're ready to go. So guys, I'll see you soon. Have a blessed